Lorabo in the Dagger of Amon. We're on part 2 of this one. A bit over 2 hours for this. I've died 3 times. All of those have been getting hit by cars so far. I have saved 20 times. One of those saves is cursed, and I can't load it. I wrote down which one it was, because it's just going to crash the game if I load it. Because Sierra. Great game design, great programming and all that. So, in case you missed the last time, here's what happened previously on Lorabo and the Dagger of Amon. Previously. There we go. There's the speech support.
Excuse me, dear. Are you a secretary?
Actually, I'm starting a new job as a reporter for the New York Daily Register News Tribune.
I've enjoyed traveling with you.
Do you need any help getting home?
And you're kinda small.
I can do it, Mr. Augustini. Just give me a chance.
I want you to write about a burglary. Some kind of fancy knife was stolen from the Dagger Museum. I'll arrange for you to attend the fundraiser at 7 o'clock tonight for their new Egyptian exhibit.
Yep. All right. Now the game has truly begun.
Good morning, miss. I'm Steve Dorian.
I'm Laura Bow.
Hello, Steve.
The file on the Dagger Museum burglary is nothing more than a single handwritten page. It mentions only one stolen object, the Dagger of Amon-Ra. The burglar or burglars left no fingerprints or other clues. Their method of access to the museum is unknown. In summary, the police are baffled about the burglary at the museum at this point. Some parts of the report seem vague. The report is signed by Detective Ryan Hanrahan O'Reilly.
Hot the corned beef, get you hot corned beef sandwich.
Are you Ziggy?
Who sent ya?
It's Dr. Jazz, the piano player. Be too embarrassed to use the toilet while someone is watching you. Hold it until the end of the game.
Thanks, Toots.
So long, thirsty lady. It's been real.
I have a cramp in my leg. Could you massage it for me, honey?
Is that why she's stuck on the sofa?
You look so cute in that outfit. It makes me want to scream.
She's trying hard now.
I cleaned it out 2 years ago. You got a problem with that?
I love sitting in filth.
An old laundry claim ticket from Low Fat's Chinese Laundry.
Lady who owned this dress probably dead by now.
How about a free back rub? Or a neck rub? If you like, I could even do your whole body. Nice body. But where did you get those clothes? Salvation Army?
All right. Okay, like I suspected. End of Act 1. Oh! There is a real-time system.
Bonjour, Miss Bow. Dr. Carrington told me you were covering this party for the newspaper. I'm Yvette Delacroix.
You must be Dr. Patar Sheptut Smith. Nice gold ankh you're wearing. This is quite a party, isn't it?
I find it distasteful to celebrate thievery in the name of science. The artifacts in this museum's Egyptian collection do not belong here. They belong in Egypt.
All right, good talk.
Good evening, Dr. Miklos.
Oh, good evening, Miss Bull.
How are you, Detective O'Reilly?
Just fine, lassie. You're looking lovely this evening.
Good evening, Miss Bow. I'm the Countess Lavinia Waldorf Carlton. Please be sure to spell my name right in your story.
Back to the Rotunda, Fräulein. The rest of the museum is off limits. And you are spooking their mastodons.
Okay. Well, this game is in the early 20s. I'm not sure they existed at that point. So probably not. All right. I think we good on audio. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. Continue. Saved game. All right. So, lobby 2 is the cursed save. This lobby should be good. Okay. All right, not cursed. Okay. What I should probably do is delete lobby 2, because that we don't want that cursed save on here. Okay. Mission talk. All right. Let's see. So, what I did between last time and this time, I went and I grabbed this from the manuals from this. So this is the map of the museum that was provided with the game. So players had access to this. So we're currently in the Rotunda. The museum shoppy we have access to, but I don't think there's anything for us in there. This little spot right here implies that we can get to this somehow, but I'm not sure if I could find that. We've been to the Mastodon room because that's where German Dude was. And then it seems there's no way to get to Life Mass directly from the main room. So whatever we need to do, it's going to be in the Rotunda, out the front of the museum, or in the shoppy. And I suspect it is probably mostly going to be just talking to people here at the party. So the way that dialogue works in this game, we have the exclamation mark dialogue, which is just the I guess it's kind of like introduce yourself dialogue.
I'm not in the mood to indulge in idle chit-chat, Miss Bow.
Okay, so this guy, we're probably done with his dialogue.
Good evening, Dr. Mayclose.
Oh, good evening, Miss Bull.
Interesting. So we've heard that from her before, so I'm probably missing some detail with her. What about this guy, the detective?
I don't have time for idle chat, lass.
Okay, so this is probably what I'm missing then. Let me turn down the speed just a little bit here. Okay, so this is how you interrogate people in this game. You have a notebook that fills in people, places, things, and just miscellaneous things. And you choose one of these from the list and then exit it, and Laura will ask about whatever you pick. Let's see. I guess I'll ask her about everybody on this page.
An odd little fellow, that one. He reminds me of one of the specimens in my dried rat collection.
Okay. So I'm not sure what Ziggy is doing here. Ziggy's like this, I guess, underworld information dealer kind of dude. But he seems a little out of place at this party.
Mr. Najir is a very quiet one, isn't he? And so polite. Sometimes I wonder about him, though. I see a certain light in his eyes, like Daisy's, when she's about to kill a spider. I think I like Mr. Najir.
Okay, and that's this guy. The Countess.
I don't know if I trust that one. She screamed when she saw my beautiful dried rat exhibit and cried out like a baby when my ferret Daisy bit her ankle. Foolish woman.
She's letting a ferret run loose. Come on.
Ah, Wolf. He has some lovely scars, doesn't he? Just between us girls, I think he's dreamy.
Okay. Hey, Alyssa. So she's supposed to be Greek. I don't think that's a Greek accent. I'm no Greekologist, but I don't think that's representative. Yeah. Let's see. New York. Tell me about New York, lady.
How do you like living in New York, Dr. Miklos?
Well, I had always heard it was a city rife with crime and danger and murder. So far, I have not been disappointed.
Man, she's rolling those R's. Hey, check this out.
You are wise to carry a magnifier, my dear. You miss so many of the good things if you don't look close enough. Imagine never seeing pores or lice or fungus spores.
Okay. Sure. Are you having a good year, Doctor?
But we have already discussed that, my dear.
Oh,
Let's
shit.
move on to a fresh topic, shall we?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So in this game, if you talk to somebody and they give you, like, relevant information, they don't let you talk about it ever again. which is kind of a bummer.
But we have already discussed...
Okay, are we done with her dialogue?
Good evening, Dr. Miklos.
Oh, good evening.
I think that means we're not done with her then?
But we have already discussed that.
Oh, I figured. Alright, my notebook.
Ah, you are wise to carry a notebook, my dear. One never knows when one may see or hear something that will change one's life forever.
Alright, good to see you. What haven't I talked to her about then? The Tribune. There might be like another key word that I just don't have yet.
The Tribune is an excellent paper. You are most fortunate to be employed there, Miss Bo.
Oh, why thank you, Dr. Miklos.
Stick with the Tribune, my dear, and you will almost certainly go far. Their article on dysentery in the Herdanos of Spain was simply marvelous.
Marvelous.
Oh, I find the police fascinating. They spend all their time trying to stop crime and murder, and yet they shoot people themselves. Interesting, isn't it?
Yep. So we talked to her about all this stuff. Dr. Carter? I can't remember who the... Okay, I don't think I talked to her about these two.
Dr. Carter is an odd one, if you ask me. He is so very interested in gaining personal glory. He doesn't seem to fully understand the beauty of what he has discovered. Why, the Amun-Ra artifacts are a symphony, a tribute to the wonders of death. Ah.
I think that Dr. Carter is the English guy?
Dr. Carrington is a quiet one. I don't see him very often. I'm certain, however, that he must have a poetic soul.
What makes you say that, Dr. Miklos?
I have seen him walking amongst the dead in the Egyptian exhibit late at night. I cannot blame him. It's better than moonlight on headstones. Ah.
Well, whenever we get around to the murder part of this, she is probably top
Good evening, Dr.
priority. We're still not done talking to her yet, apparently. Pretty sure I talked to her about everything pertinent. So, Hey, Keeney. Did I pick up... I did not get the glass yet. Okay. Call this lobby 3. Maybe it's just putting a 2 in the save is what makes it cursed. Alright, so we'll get our drinking glass.
You pick it up and place it in your purse.
That was kind of the only difference before, between my 2 saves, was I had the drinking glass.
Heard any good rumors lately?
Maybe, or maybe not. What's it worth to you?
Well, I don't have any money right now.
Then I ain't got no rumors for you, Toots.
Dang.
Miss Bow, I am not wishing to be the rude person, but I must keep mingling this evening unless you have this specific question.
Specific questions. Okay. So probably not. So here's the thing with the water glass. The water glass.
A crystal water receptacle.
So they call it a water receptacle, but based off of what one of the other characters said and some flavor text, you're supposed to use it on like a wall or a door to listen to what's on the other side with it, and not actually use it for putting fluids in, because adventure games. Okay, so here's the Countess again. So it sounds like the Doctor Totally Greek and the guy, the bald guy in the center, those two, we still have stuff to talk about. What about the Countess?
Good evening, Countess.
And the Countess.
Good evening, Miss Bow.
And then, so if I do this,
You remind yourself of the principle.
you talk to yourself. So if you want to talk to the Countess, you have to get like one of these pixels off to the side. All right, water glass.
Well, I've seen many glasses tonight, dear girl. It is a party, you know.
Okay. I'm curious if I could.
You hear nothing of interest.
Okay. So this is the gift shoppy. And there's so much crap in here, I'm not even sure where to start. I think I came in here before and I used this cash register and it didn't do anything.
Laura, you'd never steal.
Well, we have stolen several things in this game already, so...
Don't touch it. You don't know where it's been. You can't touch the daggers on display in the locked case. Don't touch it. What a beautiful painting of the Mask of Tutankhamun. You wish you had the money to buy it. It looks just like the Dagger of Amon-Ra. Isn't it beautiful?
What do you bet? The real Dagger of Amon-Ra is in there somewhere after it got stolen.
It's a painting of the pharaoh Uber Spamaton hunting geese in the springtime with his hounds and his son, Niet.
Probably 100%.
This is the counter where the counter counts the money. They appear to be broken pots of some kind, probably authentic artifacts. Or maybe someone just dropped them.
Huh.
What a beautiful Art Deco rug. You almost hate to walk on it.
Anything under the rug?
Nice weave.
Sure. Magnifying glass.
The rug is nice and clean.
Great. Oh. Made in Pittsburgh. Okay. That's probably how you can tell.
The dagger shows Pittsburgh's high degree of craftsmanship.
Well done, Pittsburgh.
The dagger shows Pittsburgh's high degree of craftsmanship.
Oh, okay. So there goes my idea. Nearly immediately.
You can't touch the daggers on display in the locked case.
Wait, can I talk to...
You get no response.
Okay, sure. So I wonder if this is like
That's not the sort of thing you want to examine too closely.
Sure.
Upon close inspection, you see nothing new here.
Okay, so then we got all this crap on the back here. Like this, maybe?
These vessels appear to be replicas of 7th century Welsh condiment pots made for export to Ireland.
So she's an expert on pottery?
These are replicas of early 12th century Celtic insect trapping pottery. These are replicas of early 12th century Celtic insect trapping pottery.
What do you bet this is a copy protection? Like, look up in the manual.
These vessels appear to be replicas of 7th century Welsh These vessels appear to be replicas.
Okay, so those are all the same.
These vessels appear to be replicas of 7th.
Okay.
These appear to be copies of ancient Egyptian artifacts. They seem to be nicely crafted. It's a replica of the famous bust of Nefertiti. You've always wondered if the paint wore off, or if the queen really had white eyes. Some native craftsmen did an excellent job of painting the bust. You can barely make out the signature. It says, painted with pride by Sam the Sham. Hey, that's not an Egyptian name.
Sure. Hey, Churchy. Here, Meth. Welcome. All right. It's doing the thing again. I'm missing the save icon again. Like, going into the gift shop, maybe that's what curses my game. Fuck, man. It's like... Okay. The way I fixed this before was I traveled to a completely different area of the city. I don't think I can do that. Okay, there we go. It's back. All right. Is this potentially cursed? All right, I'm curious. Are we cursed? Okay, we're not cursed. We're good. Okay. I'm gonna have to like double save now or something. Though I'm eventually gonna run out of room for saves. Okay, so let's keep talking to him. What haven't I talked to him about then?
I know the dagger was heisted. I might even know who done it. But I ain't talking.
If you know, why won't you go to the police?
All I got is a suspicion. I got nothing hard. Besides, what have the cops done for me lately?
Yeah.
This is in the interests of justice. Who are you trying to protect?
I'm trying to protect me. Now flip.
Okay. So, which one of these pixels is going to work? The most painful accents? Oh man. Yeah, this is quite something. Like, I'd argue King's Quest V has worse voice acting. But the variety of caricatures, I guess, in this game is sure something.
Jeez, don't ask me, lady. I ain't touched a drop of that stuff in years.
Okay, we've heard that before, but I think that was on my cursed save.
How was your year, Mr. Ziggy?
Superb. Simply superb. First I mix a sawbuck on the Tunny Dempsey match. Now here I am rubbing elbow grease with a hoity-toity. Thanks for asking.
I recognize some of those words.
You know, some days it's a rich smelting pot, but some days it's a big cesspool. But you gotta rise to the top like scum and keep your feet and your nose clean. That's how I does it anyway.
Oh man. Hey, Naked Julia. Good to see you. The museum.
I know everything's not what it looks to be, but then what is? Same with all these mucky-mucks. Look, appearances can be deceiving. Me, do I look like the brother of a famous Broadway producer? No, but I am.
Huh. Well, even with this guy, he's still less suspicious than the Greek doctor. He still's not at that level yet.
You seen it? I saw you in there before. It is what it is. Hey, I'm a philosopher.
Heard any good rumors lately?
Maybe, or maybe.
Well,
Wait, that was that one. Wrong one. The docks?
You're familiar with the 12th Street docks, aren't you?
Not me, lady. Mostly your unsavory types hang out down there.
Right. Okay, I don't think I've talked to him about the
Can't help
doctors.
yous with that, toots.
Okay, at least he was brief about it this time.
The new museum prez? Stodgy old guy, but a fine chap. Yeah, that's it, a fine chap. Good man.
Okay, that's not what everybody else said about that guy, but alright. So he's not here. That's my editor. That's our co-worker. That's the laundry guy. Our dad. Steve. Oh, let's ask about...
Hey, Steve. Do you know Steve Dorian?
Yeah, the dock worker. I know that guy.
Oh?
He ain't in my inner circle, though. Don't know much about the Joe.
Okay, he knows of Steve. He's heard Steve's booming voice somewhere.
What's up with this Ziggy joker?
Hey, watch your mouth. You're talking to him.
There's probably more to Steve because Steve is on the back of the box, I think. At least Alright, hold on. I think he is. Yeah, there he is.
Hi, Steve. Romantic interest or ruthless rogue?
Alright, yes. So Steve has some importance, apparently.
Quiet guy most of the time. Accountant, I think. Boy, I'll tell you, those Egyptians know some crummy jokes.
Alright. By the way, Steve Dorian, his profession is stevedore, by the way. I disproved this pun. All right, Countess Water Closet.
How many times are you gonna ask me? I already told you everything I know about that.
Oh, whoops.
How many times are you gonna ask me? I already told you everything I know about that.
Yeah, I bet what they had to do back then was they had Steve record. Steve recorded all of his lines really quickly, because when they pitched it down, it also slowed it down. That's probably why the delivery is so weird.
Any good rumors lately?
Maybe or maybe not. What's it worth to you?
Okay.
Well, I don't have any.
Then I.
All right, so based off of that dialogue, we're probably not done with him then. It sure feels like I'm still missing something. So this should bring us out back in front again. I've already tried filling up the water with the fountain, and it didn't do anything. It gives you the you don't hear anything dialogue.
You hear nothing of interest.
Yeah. So that's where I figured there's probably a different use for the for that. And then the taxi's not here, and we don't have our press pass anymore, so we can't taxi somewhere else. And I can't go left or right, and if I go in the street, I get run over because it's a Sierra game. I suppose I could go to the Mastodon room again. Like, maybe that's the thing. Because the only other areas that are not this room... Hey, Howard. So there's the Mastodon room and the Shoppy. And I'm assuming that I can't get to the old masters there from here, even though there's clearly a break in the wall. Okay, let's try to get in there. Let's try once again to see if security will let us pass the Mastodons. Because I remember that was a thing in some other Sierra games of, like, it's just RNG.
Back to the Rotunda, Fräulein. The rest of the museum is off limits. And you are spooking their Mastodons.
Okay, we're still spooking Mastodons. I turned down the walk speed, so that's... or I changed it back to normal. Because that can end up being an issue sometimes with some Sierra games. If you have the speed turned up too high, the game can sometimes bug out. Or, like, some things will play too fast and you'll just miss them and end up dying. So here's the museum shoppy entrance. So there's probably, like, a fake...
You can almost feel the low level of excitement in the room. Many of these partygoers have attended hundreds of fundraising events, seeing the same people, eating the same food, talking about the same things, and generally leading very dreary high society lives.
Sure. So there's probably a hidden door in the wall here. Maybe like
Don't
behind
touch
these.
it. You don't know where it's been.
Can I touch this plant?
You can almost feel the low... You can...
Okay, so that's all the same. Pretty sure I got everything I could in the gift shoppy.
It's the doorway to the... It's the doorway to the gift shop. It's the doorway to...
Okay. God, it feels like... there's also a possibility I could be in like a dead man walking situation. Because this is a Sierra game. And they do that to you. Like, oh, you missed an item in Act 1? Well, haha. Good luck.
Ah, truly a man of great ambition and integrity,
Well, yeah, it's a gift. The museum shoppy. There it is. The shoppy. All right, let's get the correct pixel here.
Dr. Carrington, what about him? I know very little about the man.
Now that's odd. I could have sworn Mr. Dorian said that you met Dr. Carrington in a taxi when he arrived on the Andrea Doria.
Oh?
Yes, so what if I did? I mean, yes, I did meet him that night. Our families are, old allies from the time of the War with Roses. I felt obliged to meet him upon his arrival. Noblesse oblige, you understand.
Oh? Also of note, as I was making the previously yesterday, I guess I missed or glossed over, but in the bathroom of the speakeasy, there was Thirsty Lady. Thirsty Lady was waiting for the Countess for something. The way that she worded it, it sounded like the Countess was there to hook up with the woman in the bathroom of the speakeasy. Or it could have been like an informant thing, I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe that's relevant somewhat to her backstory or something, I don't know. But there's clearly something amiss here with Countess Water Closet. Especially if she's denying knowing this guy, and then the next breath, they're just the best buds. So that's a little strange.
Well, to tell you the truth, dear girl, I find him to be a crude, uncultured ruffian.
Okay. I got that impression too. So, sure. That checks out. Alright, does she know Crodfaller T. Rhubarb? He also has a nickname that I already forgot.
Oh, I do enjoy a bit of Crodfaller with my tea.
Sure. Oh, Rube. That's what Rube. Alright, what about Low Fat?
I'm sure I've never met him, Miss Bow.
Okay. Have you met my father, John Bow?
I've never met your father, dear girl. He's a policeman, you say. How delightful.
Sure. Alright, have you met Stevedore?
What a lovely boy. He has such charming manners, and he's so handsome,
How does everybody know Steve? What? Alright, does she know our editor?
I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him, but he sounds simply charming. I imagine a man who runs a newspaper must be quite wealthy,
So... Alright. Let's see. I think I've already talked to her about Ziggy. In the same town? Well, this is literally New York. New York is where we're at, so... Even 1920s New York.
I bore rather easily, dear girl. Do let's move on to another subject,
Okay. So, about Ziggy. Ziggy claims he's never met the Countess, but then the Countess says she hates him. So they have met before. I don't know. I think I've talked to her about everybody else then?
I bore rather easily.
Yeah, so talk to her about that. Man, this interface for dialogue is so tedious.
I bore...
Yeah.
I bore rather easily.
Okay.
I'm afraid I haven't read your newspaper, dear girl. I try to avoid the news. I find it distressing. We live in such terrible times.
Why would... Huh. In the early 20s? Why? Okay.
Well, they have a job to do, I suppose. Oh, heavens, my dear. My laundry is done by my maids.
I am more and more or less surprised that nobody is talking with the Countess at this party.
The docks are dreadful, rough places, Miss Bow. Simply dreadful.
All right, lady, let's exhaust your dialogue options.
I bore a...
You ask yourself.
Oh, God. Why does she have to stand right in front of her? Like, come on.
New York is simply charming, Miss Bow. It has so much culture for an American city.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's 1923? No, 26. So it would have been 8 years since all that.
Miss Bow, you must be sure to avoid such dens of iniquity. They can only ruin a young lady's reputation.
Interesting. Yeah, this is in 1926 is when this is set. That's interesting that she mentions that because she was supposed to go to the speakeasy. To the bathroom. To Thirsty Lady. Huh.
Oh, you jot everything down. How very industrious of you.
So, Countess Water Closet is just filled with lies. All the way up.
I bore rather
You are.
I bore rather...
Oh, God. Okay, I think we're almost done with talking to this.
I bore...
Oh, man, lady. All right, burglary.
I bore...
She bores rather easily. Tell me about Egyptology, lady. Can I just double click this? Nope. You have to left click on it, right click to get the exit icon, and then left click outside of it. And she bores rather easily. Okay, let's save so I don't have to do that again. Save over the cursed save. Well, let's see.
It's a buffet table loaded with food.
Food. Food is your answer.
You see a short, elderly woman dressed flamboyantly, and you suspect expensively, and sporting a grotesque amount of makeup. In fact, when she speaks, you notice small flecks of base coat chipping off of her jowls and tumbling onto her furred collar.
Yeah, like pig butts. Roasted shoulders.
The buffet tables are heaped with food, champagne, and water.
Oh, heaped with water. Nice.
The buffet tables are heaped with food, champagne, and water.
Okay.
The buffet tables are heaped with food.
Okay.
It's a colossal bust of the pharaoh Ramses II, discovered at the Ramesseum, his mortuary temple on the Nile's west bank opposite present-day Luxor. The complete Ramses statue stood nearly 60 feet tall and weighed more than 1,000 tons. Presumably Ramses was not this large in life, although many people have stated that Ramses had a big head.
Yeah, that is true. How were they allowed to have champagne? Yeah, probably because rich people. They are cops in attendance, so. Okay, does she have different dialogue now that we've talked to her about everything else?
Good evening, Countess.
Good evening, Miss Bow.
So we're still getting the good evening from her, despite talking to her about literally everything in our notebook. So I think that means I need to talk to her. This is LaCroix or something, or is that the water? The sparkling water, I can't remember.
Ah, Monsieur Pippin, he is such a great man. And quite attractive, no?
Whatever, what's her name again?
Dr. Pippin Carter is a tall, dignified, middle-aged gentleman with a carefully trimmed mustache.
Oh, that guy. Okay, there's another guy I haven't talked to yet.
This is quite a party. Does a museum always have a big fundraiser when they open a new exhibit, Dr. Carter?
No, but they've never had such an important exhibit opening here before. And I'm an important curator with an important salary, so the museum wouldn't have been able to keep me employed here without financial assistance.
You must be very important for the museum to go to so much trouble.
Naturally. The museum is lucky that I accepted this position as the head of their new Egyptian antiquities department. Why, my name alone will attract more visitors and more money to the museum.
Any chance that the Tutankhamun exhibit will make a stop here on its American tour?
No. I'd hate to embarrass my relative by putting his Tutankhamun artifacts on display here. They pale by comparison to my own great discoveries, such as the Dagger of Amon.
Of course. How silly of me to think otherwise.
Well, he doesn't have the dagger
yes,
anymore.
That was rather silly of you.
Dang. Getting roasted by this guy. So, I assume that this guy back here was not an important NPC because they usually put him out front and they have different clothes on, but sure. What about this guy?
Good evening, sir. My name is Laura Bow.
I am Ramses Najia, Miss Bow. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Okay. So that's also another important NPC. What about this guy?
Good evening, Dr. Carrington.
Good evening, Miss Bow.
Okay.
Good evening.
So I completely missed these three guys here because I only assumed that these two were the important ones here. Okay. Great.
What do you make of the theft of the dagger, Dr. Carrington?
It's simply beastly. What is the world coming to when crepuscular ruffians can invade a museum like Visigoths?
Do you have any idea who could have done such a thing?
Not at all. But if I did, I'd be tempted to teach the brute a lesson.
Exactly right. Classic Sierra.
Egyptology is all quite the fashion now, Miss Bow. But it's been a serious science for many years. I can recommend a number of fine books if you're interested.
I am not, but okay. How's your 1926 going, Doctor?
Have you found 1926 to be a good year for you, Dr. Carrington?
Yes, I would, Miss Bow. Frightfully good.
And what is that, Doctor?
It's not often that one gets the opportunity to head up the most respected museum in America, Miss Bow.
Okay.
Mr. Najia, would you have any idea who might have stolen the Dagger of Amon-Ra?
No, but whoever did should be boiled alive. He should be fed to hungry crocodiles. His guts should be strung from the pyramids. He should... Oh, excuse me. I get a little passionate on the subject.
Quite all right, Mr. Najia. I understand.
That guy has the same voice actor as the taxi driver. It just added a lisp. That's the guy who did it? Yeah, probably.
Are you an Egyptologist, Mr. Najia?
No, not professionally. I have always been interested in the history of my country and made a point of studying it. I am particularly interested in ancient Egyptian religions.
Oh, I just realized this guy is Roger Wilco's son in Space Quest 4 as well. Or it might actually be Roger Wilco himself.
Mr. Najia, would you say that 1926 has been a good year for you?
Well, yes, I would have to say so. Business in America is booming, and many people need an accountant. I have not wanted for work, and my beloved wife Isis is soon to deliver our third child. I suppose I am as happy as a man should be.
Congratulations on the upcoming blessed event, Mr. Najia. What are your other children's names?
Well, there's Horus and Amon, and the new baby shall be named Anubis, after the wise and just Lord of the Dead.
Oh, how lovely. But what if the child is a girl?
The name shall be Anubis either way. It is a wonderful name for either a boy or a girl.
Bro, please. Please. Don't do that to your kid.
Would you say this has been a good year for you, sir?
Well, let's see. I made the most important archaeological discovery of all time. Almost everyone on the planet knows my name, and I've clinched a curatorial job I've been after for years. Yes, I'd say it has been a rather good year.
Seems to me you might have a problem.
A problem? Such as?
Well, you've accomplished so much this year. What are you gonna do next?
Next? What next? Don't bother me with such ludicrous questions, you silly female.
I have a feeling this guy is going to be the first one to turn up dead. Once people start dying in this game.
You must be very upset about the burglary.
Quite so. If I ever find out who stole my Dagger of Amon, they won't live to regret it, I can assure you.
Oh my. Do you have any idea who would do such a thing?
I have my suspicions, but I need more proof before I subject him to the full force of my wrath.
Have the police learned anything?
Those incompetents? Hardly. They couldn't even find any clues around the dagger display.
Sounds like the burglar might have been a professional.
Perhaps. It's more likely the local constable couldn't find a clue if it jumped up and bit him on the bum.
Both things could be true.
Since you're an expert on the subject, what can you tell me about Egyptology?
I don't have time to explain the intricacies of my profession to a neophyte. If you're truly interested, I'd suggest several years of difficult study on the subject at one of your better universities. Once you've finished that, you can talk to me again.
Dang. Okay. I'm not sure at which point I don't need to talk to people here anymore. So I've talked to these three, because these three clearly important characters. They're spaced out, but they're all in the same area. They have unique sprites.
Good evening. I'm Laura Bow.
The snobbish high society partygoers just ignore you entirely. You're not a part of their accepted social circle and are therefore beneath their notice.
Dang. Okay. So did we get any new dialogue things? No.
I have only met her briefly, but she seems to have a sincere concern about my problems. A charming woman.
Sure. I think this guy, or that's the accountant, is Ramses?
Ramses I was pharaoh during the 19th dynasty, from 1307 to 1306 BC. But Ramses II made more of an impact on ancient Egypt. Ramses II was responsible for gargantuan construction projects which left his mark on the face of Egypt for thousands of years. I admire his great works and hope to emulate his feats someday.
Actually, I was referring to Ramses Najia.
Nigeria's never heard of him.
Are you sure you don't know him?
No? I mean, yes. English is such a difficult language.
I guess I ask him about him again then? Am I gonna get the same stupid...
You already asked me that, you silly female.
Silly female. 2 different characters have said that now. Alright, how about Ziggy?
Never heard of it.
Okay. Alright, Dr. Pippin.
You dare to mention his name to me? He is the blasphemous temple destroyer and tomb robber who stole the Dagger of Amon from Egypt. He will know the full force of the curse of the pharaohs.
The curse of the pharaohs? What's that?
The defilers of the great Egyptian tombs and temples will all die as a result of their crimes. The gods themselves will punish them. The great Amon-Ra will snuff out Pippin Carter's life as easily as I can crush a dung beetle under my shoe.
How will this happen?
Amon-Ra works in mysterious ways. You will have to wait and see.
Huh. Yeah, we currently don't have the Curse of the Pharaoh on us right now. We can save the game.
I had hoped that Dr. Carrington would listen to reason. I had made another appointment to speak with him about the return of the Dagger of Amon-Ra to its rightful home. But this seems futile since it is no longer in the museum.
Another appointment? You spoke to Dr. Carrington once already?
Only by phone. He denied Egypt's claim to the dagger. It was hoped that a personal visit would convince him of our sincerity. But the situation has changed since then.
Huh. Okay. So that's why this guy's at the museum, is to try and convince the administrators here to give up their stolen artifacts. Okay, has this guy met Steve? He's only been in the country for like a week, but perhaps he's met Steve.
Do you know Steve Dorian? He works at the docks.
I don't associate with common dock workers, madam.
Okay, we found the one person in New York who has not met Steve. Have you met Steve?
Ah, the young stevedore, Steve Dorian. He is a charming young fellow. I imagine he has some wonderful scars from working on the docks.
He's like, okay, yeah. He knows Steve, alright. As a detective, met Steve.
He seems nice enough, but I wouldn't trust anyone who works on the docks. They're pretty rough company for a wee lass like you.
I'd probably trust Steve more than anybody in this entire building. But okay. Sure. Who else here then? Yeah, there's some thirsty women in this game, man. Except Laura Bow, she's just too oblivious. I probably talked about everything else.
You already asked me that, you...
Okay.
But we have already discussed...
Oh, God. Okay.
But we...
Did I already...
But we have...
Oh, God. Okay. I haven't talked to this guy about most things, so we'll...
That fella is just too big for his britches, that's all I have to say. Someone ought to take him down a notch or two.
I agree.
He's got too many brains, that one. He thinks he's better than us all.
All right. Detective is being very helpful here.
Why, that's me, silly girl. Detective Ryan Hanrahan O'Reilly, at your service.
Service?
Questions are...
We have 2 pixels to work with on this guy's head. Okay, so he has met Steve, but he doesn't trust him.
That man is a human weasel. Stay away from him, lassie.
It is better...
Oh my god.
I don't like that wee fella. Think he's light in his loafers, don't you know?
Sure.
Now there's a slippery old bat. If she's royalty, then I'm Rudolph Valentino.
All right.
He's not much of a security guard, if you're asking me. How could I trust a man who allowed a thief to waltz right in here and steal one of the exhibits if he didn't do it himself? He hasn't even got an alibi for the night of the burglary, since he was here alone.
Oh? Okay.
It's all right if you like that sort of thing. I think it's a waste of time myself. I'd rather be down at the pub knocking one back with me buddies.
Yeah, bro.
Do you like living in New York, Detective O'Reilly?
Begorra, yes, girl. 'Tis truly the land of opportunity. Just look at me.
Okay. The docks?
The docks are dangerous places, lassie. Infested with as many cutthroats as there are rats. I'd stay away from there if I were you. Do you always carry a water glass around, lassie? Were you lost in a desert as a girl?
Sure.
So do you suppose you're gonna find lots of important clues with your little magnifying glass, missy? Let me know if you find anything important.
You ask...
Oh my god. Alright.
Detective O'Reilly, has 1926 been a good year for you?
Oh, most definitely, lass. I've put away more criminals this year than you'll ever see in your whole life.
That makes it both a bad year and a good year, doesn't it, Detective? I mean, if there were that many criminals on the loose to begin with, we must be in some sort of crime wave.
You see it your way, lassie, and I'll see it mine.
Sure. Pretty sure I talked to him about that.
Do you know anything about Egyptology, Detective O'Reilly?
Enough to know it's a bloody waste of time. Sifting through all those old bones and rotting tombs. Better to let the dead rest, don't you know?
There's our first don't you know. Still waiting on the I do declare from Lorbo. Hopefully it happens before this game's over.
I'm a busy man.
Okay, so we've already talked to him about that. I don't know at what... Like, it feels like I'm going to talk to one of these NPCs about something, and then it's gonna do the clock thing in the upper left. And move on to something. Yeah, or some nonsense statement.
Museum doors...
Like, zounds. Or, look out, Graham! A poisonous snake! If only this game had a Cedric. If only. Alright, maybe there's something new in the shoppy. Either the shoppy or the Mastodon exhibit. Alright, nothing new here. I'm assuming that there's no thing over there. Nope. Okay.
Hi! You're having such a good time, I thought I'd introduce myself. I'm Laura Bow of the New Orleans Bows.
The fanatically happy snobs just ignore you entirely. They're having so much fun, you're sure they're putting on an act to impress their friends.
Sure. Okay, we're gonna try the Mastodon room. And if that doesn't do anything, then... Great.
Back to the rotunda, Fräulein.
Shit. I don't think there's any items to get. I haven't seen anything that looks like...
This is the eastern portion of the Leyendecker Museum Rotunda. Don't touch it. Don't.
Please, my dear, let's keep our hands to ourselves, shall we? Decorum, my dear. Decorum is the order of the day.
Sure. Okay, do we still get the same canned dialogue?
Good evening, Countess.
Good evening, Miss Bow.
So we haven't gotten any new things in the notebook. I can't, like, double click it. Magnifying glass, water glass. Hey, Master Keith. Welcome. And I mostly talked about, with these three guys in the back, I mostly talked about the stuff on the miscellaneous part of the notebook. So it's probably people.
The fellow has quite an overinflated ego, but he's got a legitimate reason for it, I suppose.
We just got to go through this huge dialogue dump.
Well, that's me, young lady. Dr. Archibald Carrington III, at your service.
Before it lets me play the game.
Oh, he's a good enough chap for a law enforcement peon.
Okay. Does he know Steve? Have you met Steve?
A stevedore? I'm afraid I don't discourse with proletarian ruffians of that stripe.
Okay. He does not know Steve. We found a second person. That means I already distrust this guy.
Miss Bow, I find it vaguely offensive that you would even think that I know anyone named Ziggy.
He's standing like 3 feet from you? But okay.
Now there's an intense personality. He doesn't look it, but there's something seething below the surface. I'm frightfully sure of it. In any case, the fellow is a fine accountant.
Huh.
Now there's a lady who truly supports the arts. A real patron, that old girl.
Careful with the box at the very start. I think so. No, it was this guy, the guy with the other guy with the mustache.
He's a real pip. A genuine go-getter, that fellow. He does a jolly good job of guarding the museum. Jolly good.
Jolly good.
1,000 curses on that man. He defiled the tombs of my sacred ancestors for his own personal glory. He doesn't care a fig for what's right and what's wrong. His own evil deeds will catch up with him, though. Just wait and see.
Sure.
I have heard a great deal about Mr. Carrington, but I do not know him very well. We have only spoken once or twice, but he seems like a cultured, charming fellow.
Huh. It's weird that some of them are like, yeah, I've met them literally once. And then the other person says, like, I know their whole life story, and they're seething beneath the surface. But there's these weird inconsistencies in knowledge between the characters of themselves.
We have already discussed that, Miss Bow.
Okay, sure.
To be perfectly honest, I do not care for Mr. O'Reilly. I do not think he sees the beauty in ancient Egypt. He is somewhat blunt in his approach to others as well. I suppose that is just part of his job, however.
Do you know Steve?
Mr. Dorian is a very healthy-looking young man. His mother must have eaten well.
Oh, okay.
I do not know Ziggy very well, but he makes me uneasy. His eyes remind me of a jackal's. I met him briefly at the party, then avoided him the rest of the time.
He's standing within arm's reach of you.
Why, I am Ramses Najir, Miss Bow. I am an accountant and a proud father of 2.5.
I don't think that math checks out.
The Countess is quite a colorful lady. She seems to enjoy life to the fullest, does she not? Just between you and me, she scares me a little.
Why is that, Mr. Najia?
Well, she's just too enthusiastic for me, I suppose.
Huh. So I think anytime she asks a follow-up, those are probably the important questions.
I find Mr. Heimlich to be most intimidating. He seems to enjoy looming over people.
Okay, so we're probably done talking to him then.
That's me, you silly girl. If you want to arrange an in-depth interview, we'll have to schedule it later in the week. Dr. Carrington is a fine chap. He used to be in charge of the British Museum, you know. I ran into him several years ago when I visited the British Museum to consult with Dr. Butch. Seems odd that Dr. Carrington doesn't remember me, but I almost didn't recognize him either. He's getting old after all. Looks different. Memory's probably shot as well. Ah, yes. Can't say I'm too impressed with Detective O'Reilly. Couldn't find a single bloody clue about the Dagger burglary. And he has the nasty habit of chewing on grapes constantly, probably to cover up the smell of the alcohol he drinks.
I suspect that's a detail that might come up later. And I'm getting the feeling that I should be making like a chart of all the relationships between people and who says they know who and who says they don't know. Alright, do you know Steve?
Steve Dorian. The stevedore with the ridiculous name. He's the fellow who helped unload my artifacts from the steamship.
There you go.
If it weren't for his odd name, I would have forgotten him entirely.
Oh, there's nothing else remarkable about Steve Dorr? please.
Rather an unfortunate name, I think. Of course I know Ramses. There were several of them, actually. Ramses I was pharaoh during the 19th dynasty from 1307 to 1306 BC, but Ramses II made more of an impact on ancient Egypt. From 1290 to 1224 BC, Ramses II undertook a succession of gargantuan construction projects which left his mark in the face of Egypt for thousands of years. His mortuary site at Thebes, the Ramesseum, contains a temple to Amon-Ra, a royal palace, a mortuary temple, and several storerooms.
Actually, I was referring to Ramses Najir.
Never heard of him.
He's standing right next to you. All right, here's my OneNote notes already. One is the riddle that a character mentioned that hasn't come up again since. And Lobby 2 save is cursed, don't use it. There's a full extent of my notes so far. Alright, Countess Water Closet.
The Countess was married to the former president of the Leyendecker Museum, Sterling Waldorf Carlton. A good chap, but uninspired. Now she has her sights set on Dr. Carrington. Ah, yes. Heimlich's the security chief here. Not a particularly good one, obviously, since the dagger was stolen right from under his nose. And he's rather too intense for my tastes.
Okay. I think I've exhausted all the important dialogue now, but
Since you're new here, what do you think of New York? Isn't it exciting?
I hate it. It's crowded, it's noisy, and you Americans have no concept of how the class system is supposed to work. You go around treating each other like equals, which I find very distasteful. With a little work, I can turn the Leyendecker into a world-class museum. But that can wait a few months until they decide to make me the president. Dr. Carrington will have to find other employment, of course, but I'm sure some lesser museum would be happy to have him on their staff.
yeah, some nameplates would be good. Like, I think if I switch this to text mode, I think it does show their names. No, okay. You silly female. So that's what text mode looks like, and that's what the floppy disk version of the game, how it plays.
I believe he was the Emperor of Rome just after Justinian.
Okay.
That's why I arrived on the steamship Andrea Doria. I came over with the artifacts for the Egyptian exhibit. Apparently Dr. Carrington was also on that voyage from England, but I never ran into him aboard ship. Keeps to himself a lot, you know.
Dr. Carrington was on that too. Interesting. Which is this guy, I think? I think this is Carrington.
I've only been there once, but I found the docks to be full of pugilistic ruffians and parasite-infested rodentia.
Sure.
The Leyendecker is simply fantastic, Miss Bow. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
The Leyendecker is a beautiful beautiful museum, Miss Bow, but I do not approve of the spoiling of my ancestors' tombs, much less the wanton display of their bodies.
Oh, shit. Accidentally clicked. Well, hopefully he didn't say anything important after that. I gotta take my hand off the mouse or something. So we'll never hear what he had to say. Fuck.
Oh, dear. The docks are very rough places, Miss Bow. I stay away from them. I would suggest that you do the same. Attractive young ladies like yourself are the favorite prey of the jackals who prowl there at night.
Okay. Man, I really wish there were more of a clear indication in the game of like.
You hear nothing.
What you're supposed to do for this.
You hear.
Or like a check mark or something if you've already talked to somebody about a subject. Because man, this is a quite clunky way to handle all this.
I'm not in the mood to indulge in idle chit-chat.
Good evening, Dr. Meek.
Oh.
So she still does the greeting.
I don't have time for idle...
He does that. So I'm pretty sure I talked to her about literally everything and everybody.
But we have already
Okay, so I'm gonna go through...
But we have...
Yeah.
But we have already...
Like, maybe the people who really love this game played it with a walkthrough or something?
Mr. Agostini? I have only met him once or twice at social affairs. He seems to be very competent, that one.
Because this has got quite a few rough edges to it.
But we have already...
Okay. Talk to them.
But we have...
No, it's not even like journalists. It's just...
Ah, yes. Detective O'Reilly. I can't say that I'm overly fond of that one. He has little respect for the wonderful things in the museum, and he is too firmly rooted in this life. I do not believe that he likes the dead at all. Can you imagine?
Word. Okay, maybe that was it.
Good evening, Doctor.
Nope, still more, I guess.
I am sorry, but I don't know what a crodfaller is. Ah, is it some sort of pastry?
Okay. Clutch mute mic button.
Oh, yes. He runs the laundry down the way. He always manages to keep the pleating in my silk shrouds just right.
Shrouds? What?
No, I'm afraid I don't know Detective John Bow. He is your father? That's nice. I admire the police. They get to spend so much time with the sick and the dead. And in New Orleans, yet with those beautiful cemeteries.
This lady is something else. Alright, we already know that she knows Steve.
But we have already...
Okay. Pretty sure I talked to her about everybody on this page, but let's be sure.
But we have...
Oh man, this dialogue system is...
But we...
really clunky.
But we have...
Okay. So we talked about everybody on the People tab.
But we have...
Places tab.
But we have... I'm sure I don't have an answer for that, Miss Bow.
She already mentions that she knows about low fat because he Game, please, be consistent.
I love to walk along the docks on a moonlit night and feed carrion to the rats. Such friendly little fellows.
I would love to stop talking to this lady, but apparently we haven't gotten the critical info from her yet.
The Lion Decker is my home now. I never want to leave it. Its musty hallways and creeping shadows are in my very blood. Can you imagine spending an entire lifetime drifting through the land of the dead? That opportunity is mine, and I treasure it.
Okay. What are the odds that this lady turns out to be like a vampire or something? Because there's already been spooky ghosts in the previous game. So a vampire wouldn't be out of the question, I don't think.
But we have already...
Well, No, I think that's literally what she is. Hey, Taster. I think she actually is a therapist.
Yes, I am aware that many people enjoy going to such places. I personally do not. I find them too noisy and the people are too lively. I would like to get a good close look at some of those hedonist livers, however. That bootleg alcohol is quite strong.
Huh. Okay, so that was everything on the Places tab.
But we have already...
Okay. Oh, that's... different character.
But we have already... Did you know that bacteria can survive on the rim of a glass for 3 days, my dear?
Well, I do now.
But we have...
Okay. I think I've talked to her about literally everything now.
But we have...
She better give me some different dialogue.
But we...
Okay. Please.
Good evening, Dr. Miklos.
Oh, good evening.
What the fuck? I've talked to her about actually literally everything in my notebook. So what the hell is the difference then? These other guys will say, hey, I don't have time to talk right now. Like about half of the characters will give me the I don't want to talk anymore dialogue. So there must be like an item I'm missing then.
Don't look at me like that, lassie. You're making me nervous.
If you look closely at my neck, you will see the scars from the night my pet Wolverine tried to kill me. How I miss little Fluffy.
Oh, are you sure that wasn't vampire bite marks?
Upon close inspection, you see nothing new.
Wait, I can't.
Upon, as you...
Okay, so that guy doesn't... Yep. She gave up the game on that one.
I'm not thirsty, lass, but thank you anyway.
Oh, we found the one not thirsty person in this whole game, besides Laura.
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty.
Oh.
You hear nothing of it.
So this weird that this guy...
You see a rotund, ruddy-complexioned man in a fez. Despite his bulk, he moves with dignity and grace.
Huh. No, that way, Laura. Hey, Jeff. I'm not thirsty. Alright, are you thirsty, Ziggy?
No dice, lady. Get your own drink. This is open bar. It's every man for himself.
I prefer the wine glass unless I am listening at the doors, no? Don't take me seriously. I am just making the joke.
Okay, so... I think she's the one who gives you the hint then that you use the water glass to listen at doors.
You hear nothing. You nothing.
I don't know what pixel.
No dice.
Okay.
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty at the moment.
No, thank you. I'm very particular about my hygiene.
Okay. So guy in the back.
No dice.
May or may not be thirsty. We'll never know.
You see a bald, greasy, unpleasant little man with overlarge paws and a sour expression.
Stop that, you silly female.
Why?
I am hoping you like what you are seeing, Miss Bo.
Oh, turns out she is thirsty.
Please do not scrutinize me so severely, Miss Bo. You are making me nervous. Please do not scrutinize me so severely, Miss Bo. You are making me nervous.
That's more than a little rude, Miss Bo.
Okay. Like maybe there's an item behind them on the table, but I can't get it.
Please, Miss Bo, you're being rude. No, thank you, dear girl.
So I talked to Vampire Lady about everything, literally everything.
Nice weave. Don't touch it. Don't touch. Don't. Don't.
Don't touch it.
Laura, you'd never steal.
Some random.
You hear nothing of interest.
Huh. Yep.
Don't touch.
DJ Roberta Williams.
Don't touch. You can't touch the daggers on display in the locked case.
Like it.
Don't
touch it. It feels like I probably need to break that glass at some point. God, it feels like I'm missing something obvious. But what it is, I have no idea. Shit, I could try the Mastodon room again. Because the thing that's throwing me for a loop here is some of the characters changed their dialogue to "I don't want to talk, I'm busy," where before they would do the "nice to meet you" loop.
Back to the rotunda throw.
And we can't do anything here. Like, okay, can I listen at this?
You hear nothing.
Can I listen at the wall?
You hear.
Can I examine this thing?
Looking at a small portion of the big head really doesn't do justice to the immense size of the statue, but you can see that the bust was sculpted with extreme care, almost as if the sculptor's life depended on it, which it did.
And if I go back out front, there's probably nothing there again still. Though who knows? This is Sierra game. Maybe something is magically different out front now. Either that or... What if I listen to this door? Maybe I'll catch something.
You hear nothing of interest. You hear...
Of course not. Okay. Can I grab this?
The fabric is soft and silky. What a fine warp and woof.
What? Sure.
Considering that this car is parked right out in front of the museum, it probably belongs to an important staff member, so it's not a good idea to fool around with it. Considering that this car is...
Okay, so that's the same.
Upon close inspection, you see nothing new here. Upon close...
And I can't walk off screen.
Don't stray too far in the Big Apple. It's a big city and you're not familiar with it yet.
Okay, and I can't fill up the glass with water.
You hear nothing. You hear.
Okay.
Upon close inspection, that's not the sort of thing you want to examine too closely.
Is there like...
Feels like water.
Is there like a coin in the...
A fountain.
A fountain I could get? Because that's the thing. People throw coins in fountains and... I don't know. Oh man, this part. Just this one part of the game is more frustrating than all of the backtracking and walking around in the first game. Let's see. So we talked to her about actually everything.
I do not know this individual. You already...
Okay.
You
already asked.
I believe he's investigating the burglary of the Dagger of Amon Ra. Perhaps, if he'd stopped drinking, he might have a chance at finding it.
Dang.
I still have some trouble with your language. I do not know this crowd fella. It is some sort of local delicacy? I do not understand the term low fat. Perhaps it is because I learned English in Egypt. The English longbow was a formidable weapon. The English won the Battle of Agincourt against formidable odds because they were equipped with longbows.
I said John bow, not longbow.
I've never heard of a John bow. It must have been an American invention.
Okay, we already know that he knows Steve.
You already...
Okay.
You already... You already... Heimlich is that annoying guard who works here. His fanatical devotion to his occupation is admirable, but he seemed lacking in his mental capacities.
Dang, roasted. Okay, so that's everybody on People tab.
Never heard of it.
Oh, at least this guy gives short answers.
So far, I find the police in your country to be very ineffective. The Egyptian authorities would have captured the dagger thief by now, and they probably would have cut his hands off.
Cut his hands off?
It is the proper punishment for thieves. Tradition demands it. We find it very effective in our country.
You ask?
I have not been in this country long enough to discuss the merits of your laundry establishments. I arrived there on the Andrea Doria 1 week ago. If I had known Dr. Carrington was aboard that ship, I would have spoken to him at length during the voyage.
Okay, so 3 of them were on that ship. At least 3 of them.
This could be a fine museum if the management would return its stolen Egyptian artifacts to their proper home.
Since you're new here, What do you think of New York? Isn't it exciting?
It reminds me of Cairo, except that it's colder here and the people are obnoxious.
That might be accurate. I've never been to New York.
My English is not good enough to speak easy, but I think it's improving. Taking notes is a typically American thing to do. In Egypt, we remember everything we need to know because our mental capacities are greater. I forget nothing.
He's already forgotten that he met a few people, though.
It should come in handy for examining things. However, I would warn you to be careful about what you choose to examine.
Huh. That... Okay, maybe that's the game telling me that examining some things in the game might end up being a death because Sierra?
I can get my own drinks, thank you.
Okay. I think I asked him about everything else.
Would you say this
No.
has been a good year for you, sir?
No. The great treasures of my country's past are leaving Egypt in a flood greater than the Nile.
As I understand it, artifacts only leave your country with the approval of the Egyptian Antiquities Service.
Bah! The Antiquities Service is a tool of the British. If they want to steal something, they steal it, just like the ancient tomb robbers. But they will pay, just as the tomb robbers paid whenever they were caught.
That almost sounds like a threat.
I, Patash Uptut Smith, do not threaten. I merely carry out the will of the great Amon Ra. You already...
Okay.
You already...
Alright, so we've talked to both of them about literally everything. Let's talk to the detective about the remaining things then.
Now there's a man who doesn't know his head from a hole in the ground. Sure and begorra, anyone who'd allow his paper to print letters criticizing the police farce is downright addled.
So there's about 25 things to talk about in my notebook. And there's, what, like 11 NPCs?
I'm a busy man. Don't take...
Oh, man. I'm sure you only need to talk to specific things about the specific
I'm a busy
people.
man.
And if you know exactly what to talk about, then this is probably quicker, but...
I'm a busy man.
But how would I know in a blind playthrough?
He's the wee pest who likes to hang around the station house. In fact, I thought he was supposed to cover this so-called event. Oh well, no big loss.
If only I could talk to Crodfaller.
That man is a few cards short of a full deck, but he always presses me pants, just like me sainted mother used to do. I think I've heard of your father. Over in New Orleans, isn't he, lass? They say he was pretty good for one of those southern boys.
And he knows Steve. I think I already talked to him about Ziggy.
I'm a busy...
Yes.
I'm a busy...
Yeah, especially if you're clicking through dialogue and not listening to it.
I'm a bit...
You can probably get through this very quick. Though, if it turns out you do actually
I'm a bit...
have to do every single thing, then... Oh, man.
The Tribune is a hotbed of yellow journalism, young lady. You should find yourself a better place to work. Have you considered being a secretary?
Detective O'Reilly, the Tribune is a fine, upstanding paper. And no, I don't want to be a secretary. But it would be none of your business if I did.
Temper, missy. I thought you reporters were supposed to stay objective.
Objective doesn't mean without opinions or loyalties, Detective.
Well, all I have to say is I'd like to see you in the middle of a catfight, lassie. You'd win, claws down.
Alright.
New York's police force truly is the finest in the world, and don't you forget it, lassie. They're pretty good. They always put just enough starch in me shirts.
Quest.
I'm a busy man.
You ask?
Mark my words, lassie. I'll have every one of those dens of iniquity closed up by the end of this year.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, you've got a little notebook. Isn't that cute? Well, if you solve the mystery of the missing letter opener, we'll make you an honorary police girl.
It is better.
Oh boy.
I'm a busy man.
You ask? Quest.
I'm a busy...
Okay. So we have talked to all three of the important characters on the screen and exhausted all of our conversation options with them. Okay. So there's 5 on this screen.
Potted specimens of the amazing giant air fern, Furnus giganteus maximus. It's the center of the Lion-Decker Museum Rotunda, dominated by the colossal bust of the pharaoh Ramses II.
I can't remember if I talked to Ziggy about everything.
Augustini. Augustini, yeah, that name rings a bell. Oh, yeah, ain't he the concierge at the plaza?
That's our editor?
Can't help yous with that, Toots.
It is...
The guy standing next to him, but okay.
How many times are you gonna ask me? I already told you everything.
Okay. That's his repeat dialogue thing.
I'll tell you, most of the cops around this town stink. But O'Reilly's different. He's okay. He really knows how to treat a mouthpiece, you know?
You've met Rube Crodfaller, haven't you?
Certainly I have. Definitely one of the most up-and-up guys I know. Keeps his nose clean, but knows how to have a good time.
Sure.
No, he ain't in my privileged circle of friends and acquaintances. Isn't that what they named the stiffs when they don't have an ID?
I'm sorry, but I simply have to say that your pronunciation is dreadful.
Hey, that's an insult, right?
You ask?
Oh my god. We have about 4 pixels. So I think he does know Steve.
How many times?
Yeah, he does know Steve.
How many?
Okay. Pretty sure I talked to everybody about this second page.
How many? How many? How many?
At least, like, gray out the thing if I've already talked to him about it.
You mean the newspaper? Not me, sister. I prefer my news straight from the horse's patootie, if you catch my drift.
Have you had any contact with the police?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. I'm sort of a freelance detective. I find things out that the police can't, then I pass along the information. For a price.
Sounds like a most valuable service.
Oh yeah, they couldn't do their jobs right without me. Nice guys, them cops. Kiss me flush. Salts of the earth.
Okay, so that was probably important.
Laundry. Oh, you mean like washing your clothes? No, I does that myself. How many times? How many?
Eh? Almost there.
I don't need no notebook. I already knows everything. My papers, I never needed one.
Because he never blinks, I guess.
How many times you... How many...
Oh, man.
Tell me about Egyptology.
We talked about that before, remember? I told you that crazy Egyptian riddle that Ramses guys passed along.
Yeah. So do I have a prompt here for a riddle then? No. Okay. So this is Ramses then.
We have already discussed that, Miss Bow. We have already...
Oh, man.
We have al...
Okay, but if I talk to him about Ziggy then...
We have al...
Oh. Okay. So we've talked to Ziggy about everything. Every single thing. Now on to her.
Monsieur Agostini, you know him? I understand he's a very powerful man at the newspaper. I would like to meet him sometime.
Alright, just in case. I hope the save isn't cursed.
You already asked. Dr. Carrington is my superior, so I'd rather not be saying the bad things about him.
What bad thing?
He is very strange, even for a man. Ah, but you are trying to trick me, no? It's best that I am not talking about him.
Okay.
Ah, Monsieur O'Reilly, he is magnifique. He is so intelligent, so confident, so... Ooh la la.
I assume you've met him before tonight.
Oh yes, we are, how do you say, the old friends. And it never hurts to have the highly placed friend on the local police force, no?
I suppose that's true. What do you think of his burglary investigation?
People here, they keep saying Monsieur O'Reilly, his investigation of the dagger is not good, but he tries very hard. I have seen him work, but the dagger thief, he is very good, no?
He? You think the burglar was a man?
It is only the manner of speaking, Miss Bow. This burglar, she could have been the female as well.
Huh. Multiple characters have said he for the person who stole the dagger, but I don't know how you'd know.
Ah, the godfather. I met him only once on the train. The train was the sleeper car. It was dark, and I climbed into his berth by mistake. He will always remember that meeting, I am sure. I, unfortunately, will have forgotten it in a few months. The low-fat, I know him. The little laundry I take to the cleaners, low-fat does it himself. We have the deal he enjoys, so it costs me nothing.
Sure.
I do not believe I have met your father, Miss Bow, unless it was long ago and I have forgotten. I have met so many men, it is hard to keep track of them all.
So she does know Steve.
The annoying little man, I met him at this speakeasy long ago, but he is not my class of person, no. He is of the criminal type. You already asked me this. You already asked. You already.
Okay. So that's all the people.
I only read the financial section of the newspaper. The stock market, it is looking so good. I am going to buy some very soon. I support the police in every possible way I can. I have never been to the police station, but I know many street cops and detectives, and they are all the gentlemen to me.
Shocking.
Monsieur Lofat, he does some of the laundry, but I do most of the lacy and delicate things myself, no?
She just said the opposite of that when I asked about low fat.
The dogs? Ah, there are many of the men down there, and they are so big and so charming. They have been very generous to me.
I don't know if the writers are doing this on purpose or this is just like really lazy consistency.
The museum, it is such a wonderful place to work. The people, they are so friendly, and I am enjoying my work here. I intend to be the president someday.
Okay, so she too has ambitions to be president, like the British guy.
New York, it is a rough place for the newcomer, no? So many people in the one place, it reminds me of Paris, but it is where all the money is, no? The Americans, they have so much more money than the French. This speakeasy, it used to be the good place of the business for me, no? Then I got this job, so I don't have to do that anymore.
What kind of work did you do at the speakeasy?
I was the hostess there for a while.
With your appearance, you must have gotten a lot of tips.
I suppose you could be calling it that. I got the very big tips.
Oh boy. This game.
It is a nice notebook, Laura. Take the good notes and you'll be the good reporter. Do not look at me too closely, Miss Bow. I found the line on my face yesterday and I am still upset about it. What are you doing with the water glass? Listening at the doors? Haha, just kidding.
So she repeated that line about listening at the doors.
Has this been a good year for you, Miss Delacroix?
Ah yes, every year is a good year for me, Miss Bow. It is all a matter of the attitude, no?
Why, that seems like a very healthy point of view.
Merci, Miss Bow. You are very kind. You already asked. You should ask Dr. Miklos or Dr. Smith about that.
Okay. All right. So we talked to her about everything.
You already asked me. You already.
Can't remember
You already.
what I asked this guy about already, so
You already.
going down the list.
A crodfoller is some sort of miniature vegetable, isn't it? A potato, perhaps.
Sure.
He runs one of the local Chinese laundries. Pretends to be Chinese so he can get more business, but he has a terrible accent.
What? Okay, that makes it even worse now. Oh, God.
A relative of yours, perhaps.
Oh, man. Okay, we already asked him about Steve.
You already asked. You already. You already. You already. It's one of those local scandal periodicals. The term yellow journalism comes to mind when I think of it, which means it's not much of a newspaper at all, really. It's more like printed chewing gum for the uneducated masses.
Now, wait a minute. The Tribune is a fine newspaper of the highest quality. I know because I happen to work there.
You've just proven my point.
Well, I never.
Damn.
Maybe that's your problem.
I don't have to stand here and take this abuse.
All right, you don't. You could just go away and make us both happy.
Instead, I'm gonna ask you more questions.
The police station is the last refuge for the incompetents in this city. However, if you're looking for a constable, I'd suggest one of the donut shops. People tell me Low Fats is a good place to have laundry done, but he always puts too much starch in my shirts. You already are. You already. If you're referring to the local drinking establishments, they are quite illegal, and I don't condone their existence. I do drink on occasion, but only when the finest wines are available.
Okay.
No thanks, I already have a notepad. Don't bother me with such silly questions. It's a water glass, just the thing if you require a drinking receptacle that holds liquids. You already are. You already. You already.
Okay, so we talked to him about everything. Okay, this guy, I think we've also talked to him about most everything.
I'm afraid I do not know Mr. Agostini. I live a very quiet life, and I do not know very many famous people. We have already discussed...
Now this is gameplay.
Crodfalleth? No, thank you. I try to restrict my intake of sugar. It has a bad effect on me. I'm afraid I do not know the gentleman. I lead a rather solitary life, just me and my little family. John Bow is your father? I have never had the pleasure of meeting him. I have never been to New Orleans, you see. That much humidity does not agree with me.
I can't remember if he knows Steve.
We have already... We have all... We have... We have all... I enjoy the Tribune very much, Miss Bow. I read the financial page every morning of my life. The police are useless. It is not the police who will uncover the thief of the dagger. It will be his own evil deeds turned back on him like an angry cobra. I personally do not use that laundry, Miss Bow. I go to an Egyptian laundry on 44th Street. They are wonderful with linens. We have already... We have already...
Do you like the city of New York, Mr. Najee?
Well, it is a very lucrative place for an accountant to set up shop, but the city itself is rather large and frightening. I wouldn't know, Miss Bow. I am a family man, and I do not frequent such scandalous places. I see you carry a notebook. I carry one too, in case I should think of some particularly exciting mathematical formula at an inconvenient time. How interesting. You carry a magnifier. Are your eyes poor? I am very nearsighted myself. It came from years of looking at tiny little numbers. Sometimes I carry a water glass with me as well, Miss Bow. One had to be sure to drink enough water in the wilds of Egypt, and I never quite got out of the habit.
Why would you bring a glass with you into the desert? Okay, so this is where he told us about his family.
We have already...
We did that.
We have already... We have al...
Okay, so we talked to him, make a new save, about everything. And then this is Cartwright, I think.
I'm afraid I don't know the gentleman.
Okay.
I'm really very busy, Miss...
Okay, so that's our repeat dialogue.
I'm really very busy. I'm not acquainted with the chap.
At least this guy's dialogue is short.
I've never even seen the chap. I've never met your father, Miss Bow, but I have a deep respect for the minions who uphold the law. I'm really very busy. I'm really very...
You ask?
I'm really very... I'm really very... I'm really very... I don't read the newspaper, Miss Bow. I find it eternally depressing.
Some things never change.
Oh, those poor chaps do their best, I suppose. Good heavens, Miss Bow, my houseman does my laundry. I never go to public establishments when I can possibly avoid it. I'm really very...
Do you like New York, Dr. Carrington?
To be frightfully honest, at first I found it to be a bit rough around the edges. But now I'm beginning to see its somewhat primitive charm. Miss Bow, I wouldn't be caught dead in one of those nocturnal dens of iniquity. I dare say it's a bit forward for you to go about writing things about people in that little notebook of yours, Miss Bow. Some people cherish their privacy.
Well then, don't mention it then.
I see you want to get a good look at our displays, Miss Bow. I have to respect that. What a frightfully dull subject. Water glasses indeed. I'm really very busy.
Okay. So we talked to him about everything now. Okay. All that's left is her now.
I bore rather easily, dear girl. Do let's move on to...
Okay, so that's our repeat.
I bore...
You ask?
I bore... I bore... I bore... I bore...
I'm pretty sure I already talked to her about everything too.
I bore...
You ask?
I bore...
You ask?
Oh my god. This lady's got like 3 pixels. Why does Laura have to stand right in front of her?
I bore...
You ask?
Oh my god. Come on, game.
I bore... I bore... I bore...
You ask?
I bore...
You ask?
Rip. Don't know if that was new dialogue or not.
I bore... I bore... I bore...
Oh man.
You ask?
I bore...
You ask?
I bore... I bore...
You ask?
I bore...
You ask?
Oh man.
I bore...
She bores rather easily.
I bore...
Okay, this should be the last one.
I bore...
Okay, so we've talked to literally everybody about literally everything. Like, maybe it's the Mastodon room now? Maybe I can talk to Wolf?
Back to the Rotunda, Fräulein. The rest of the museum is off limits. Und you are spooking der Mastodons!
Am I in Dead Man Walking? Yeah, if only I could not spook the Mastodon. So I've already talked to these three about everything.
It's a happy party goer. It's a happy party goer. It's a happy party. It's a happy. It's a happy. It's a.
Okay, these two are playing patty cake over here. Oh god, so there's... so we're in the rotunda. We can only go to the Mastodon exhibit or the museum shoppy. The old Masters thing, I couldn't find a door there.
It's an alcove occupied by a very impressive...
So that has the ashes of the architect.
Don't touch it.
And we can't touch it.
Don't you be touching me now, lass.
Was there something you wanted, Miss Ball?
Madam, although your beauty eclipses even that of the crystal blue waters of the Nile, I'm afraid I must insist that you refrain from handling the goods.
Okay, so what if we do a regular dialogue with all of them? Instead of a questioning dialogue, maybe they have something new to say?
I don't have time for idle chat, lass.
What about you?
Good evening, Dr. Mayclose.
It's still the good evening again.
Oh, good evening, Miss Ball.
Oh my god.
I'm not in the mood to indulge in idle chit-chat, Miss Bow.
The food is free of bugs, if that's what you were worried about.
Okay, can I... Was it food that I want?
Don't touch it.
I can't...
Don't touch... You can almost feel the low level of excitement.
That's all the same. We have no new dialogue with any of them.
Heard any good rumors lately?
Maybe, or maybe not. What's it worth to you?
Well, I don't have any money right now.
Then I ain't got no rumors for you, Toots.
Like, that dialogue makes me suspect that I do need to somehow get some money. And the gift shop cash register comes to mind, but she keeps saying that she's not a thief. So...
Young lady, if you want to ask me questions for your newspaper, that's fine, but don't just stand here trying to make small talk just so you can bask in my presence.
Miss Bow, I am not wishing to be the rude person, but I must keep mingling this evening unless you have this specific question.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Miss Bow.
Good evening, Dr. Carrington.
Good evening, Miss Bow. Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good.
Okay, so the dialogue doesn't change if you do that multiple times.
The food and champagne look good, but you're trying to stay on a diet, so you make the wise decision to leave them alone. Don't be greedy. You don't need another water glass.
Okay.
The food and champagne look... The food and...
There I was, standing on the hillside above the excavation in the Valley of the Kings, with the faithful Mahmud describing the dance of the seven veils to me in great detail, when a shout arose up from the workers below us. Sensing an important discovery at hand, since I have a sixth sense about these things, I scurried downhill to see that a step had been uncovered in the sand. It turned out to be the entrance to the Temple of Amon-Ra. I took the trowel from the Boskafir and cleared the sand away from the rest of the steps myself, revealing the entrance to the temple. The seal of the necropolis was intact on the door seal, indicating that the temple had not been disturbed. I knew that fate had brought me to the discovery I had been seeking for so long. Tireless after my exertion in clearing the staircase, I used a sledgehammer to break through the sealed doorway. Within lay the greatest accomplishment of my considerable career. Hidden within the darkness, untouched for thousands of years in the isolated temple, lay the magnificent Dagger of Amon-Ra, the greatest discovery of modern archaeology.
Good show.
Magnifique. Very impressive, Dr. Carter.
So, that's when you heisted it, right?
No, I didn't heist it, you annoying little man. I took it out of the temple and showed it to the workers, who immediately fell upon their faces, all 350 of them, to show respect for my accomplishment.
That's hard to believe, Dr. Carter. Egyptian workers have proudly worked the archaeological digs for many years. I would not think they'd exaggerate their respect for you to such an extent.
But then you weren't there, were you, Mr. Nagier?
Well, no, that's true.
And when was the last time you were in Egypt, Mr. Nagier? You seem to have lost some of your accent.
Well, it has been several years.
I thought as much.
Your discovery really was quite a remarkable achievement, Dr. Carter.
Was remarkable, Dr. Carrington? You mean, it is a remarkable achievement. There has never been anything like it before.
Quite so. Correction noted, Doctor.
If you will all be excusing me, I see a man I need to speak to.
Certainly, Miss Delacroix. Certainly.
So I probably didn't need to talk to any of them about any of the things. I probably just needed to have walked behind the fucking table. But... oh my god. Okay, so what's...
Boy, did he bet. She's some dish, ain't she?
Yes, those Frenchwomen really have something. I don't think my wife would ever have done it in a mummy case.
In my vast experience of women from different lands, I tend to agree with you, Mr. Niger. I balked when a certain French woman suggested we have a deep conversation on the back of a dinosaur, but I was pleasantly surprised by the results.
Yes, Miss Delacroix is certainly the cat's pajamas, as the Americans would say.
Yeah, we does come up with some good sayings, don't we?
Quite.
Good Lord, I hadn't realized a woman was present. Please excuse us, Miss Bow.
Oh, I wasn't actually listening to you gentlemen, Dr. Carrington. I just happened to be standing here. Excuse me.
Uh-huh. So this is where you just eavesdrop on a bunch of conversations? Okay. I wonder if I got anything new in the notebook after all that. So it turns out Miss Delacroix, kind of a hoe, it sounds like. Okay, there we go. So we got her in there now. Okay. So can we eavesdrop on these two?
Not here, Yvette.
Oh, shit.
There's too many people.
They are not important. You are the most powerful man here, my Ryan.
What about that Carrington guy? He's president of this museum.
The doctor, he is old and weak. You are the young one and strong.
And what would you be wanting, Miss Bow?
Oh, well, I thought I heard you call my name.
You must have been hearing things. I didn't even mention your name.
Oh, sorry. I've got to be going now. Excuse me.
Amazing. All right. Let's see what these two are gossiping about. I guess it makes some sort of sense now that all these characters were facing towards the screen.
And what were you doing when that fancy dagger was being stolen then?
Let me see. I was sleeping in my hotel room.
You don't sound too sure about that.
I haven't been sleeping too well since I arrived in this country. I'm tired, so I'm not thinking too well.
You're not sleeping well. Would you be having a guilty conscience then?
I do not understand your meaning, Mr. O'Reilly. Perhaps it is the English. It is such a curious language, not as clear as Egyptian.
Well, you say the dagger is what brought you to this country. If I were in your position, I'd be tempted to steal it.
Steal what has already been stolen? The Dagger of Amon Ra belongs to the Egyptian people, Mr. O'Reilly, not to Dr. Carter, not to this museum, and not to this country.
I'd be watching what you're saying, Dr. Smith. You're digging your hole deeper with every word.
Amon Ra will seek his own vengeance on those who have removed his dagger from Egypt. Amon Ra does not require my help.
You say you were sleeping when it was stolen. Were you alone?
That, sir, is none of your business.
Ah, that's where you're wrong, Dr. Smith. It is my business as long as you're a suspect in the burglary.
A suspect? Do you Americans have no shame? I'm here to gain the return of the dagger by legal means. Ask Dr. Carrington.
I have talked to Dr. Carrington, and I know he told you no dice.
The matter is not settled until the last camel drinks from the water of the oasis.
What's that? Some kind of Egyptian double talk?
Excuse me, sir, but I see a turkey leg on the buffet table that requires my attention.
Sure. Okay, so no eavesdropping on this one. Oh, man.
If you want to know my theory about it, I think it was stolen by an Egyptian. No offense to your people, Mr. Nagier, but I think there is a secret sect of Egyptian sun worshippers who have sent an envoy here to steal the dagger.
Countess, I hardly think that's likely. Secret sects like you're describing haven't existed in hundreds of years.
Oh, really? And what makes you such an authority on secret sects, Mr. Nagier?
Well, I am only expressing my opinion, madam. I'm certainly not an expert on the subject.
Quite so. I think my theory is as good as anyone's, darling, and I heard it from a reliable source.
Oh? Who was that?
Never mind. Let's just say my source has never been wrong before.
There's always a first time for everything, Countess. I still find your theory far-fetched.
Since you seem to be listening, Miss Bow, what do you think of my theory?
What? Oh, I definitely think it's worth considering, Countess.
There, you see, Mr. Nagier, the press takes me seriously.
Of course, it is kind of far-fetched.
Huh! Well, I never! Excuse me.
Oh, did I say something wrong? I'm sorry.
So, Laura had a lisp for one of those sets of lines. Oh, so we got that guy now. Okay.
So that's the deal, Countess.
I'd rather not talk about it right now.
Yeah, no kidding. DeWall's got ears around here. And so does certain nosy reporters, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I simply must speak to Dr. Carrington.
Sure thing, Toots.
Okay. Alright, no eavesdropping on this one.
Well, ain't you the hoity-toity dame these days? I almost didn't recognize you with your clothes on.
Excusez-moi, am I knowing you, sir?
Ziggy's my moniker. You gonna pretend you doesn't know me?
Ah, you are making the joke with me, no? Perhaps you have confused me with someone else?
I ain't joking. You're Yvette Delacroix. I'd know that body of yours anywheres.
I am sure I am not knowing what you mean, Monsieur Ziggy.
Oh, I get it. Yous is worried one of these hi-hats is gonna hear us, right? Oh, okay. I'm clued in. We can talk later.
Are you enjoying the culinary delights this evening, Miss Delacroix?
This food, it is adequate. I do not eat so much. This way I maintain my figure, no?
Ah, yes, and a lovely figure it is, Miss Delacroix.
Merci, Dr. Carrington. You are so kind.
I feel we've known each other long enough. Please call me Archibald.
As you wish, Archibald. I am yours to command, as always.
Miss Bow, is there something I can do for you?
Oh, no. I was just admiring Miss Delacroix's dress.
Merci, Miss Bow. And your gown, it is a bit out of date, but charming nonetheless.
Thank you, I think.
Well, if you ladies will excuse me, I must mingle with the guests.
Well, look what the leprechaun's dragged in.
Hey, now watch what yous calls me, O'Reilly. I don't know what that leprechaun thing is, but I don't like the sound of it.
I'm sure you've been called worse things, smart guy.
Only by low-class type poisons, O'Reilly. By the way, ain't you afraid of being seen with me?
Cops talk to stoolies all the time, and I was wondering what you're doing here.
I'm a big patron of the arts. That's the kind of high-class guy I am.
You don't even know what the word patron means.
I does too.
Okay, what does patron mean?
Hey, ain't that the countess I see over there? I needs to talk to her.
Sure. Okay, nothing new there. Okay.
One thing I am admiring about the Egyptian man is the way he is treating his woman, with the strong hand and the firm words.
Well, that is the proper way, as our culture teacheth us.
Which is not to say our culture is primitive by any means. Our civilization has evolved over thousands of years, so our methods are quite well thought out and practical.
And the Egyptian man, he is very skilled in the private matters as well, no?
Well, speaking for myself, I feel it is my sacred duty to be knowledgeable in all matters that concern me.
I've certainly had no complaints about my skills, Mrs. Delacroix.
Ah, Miss Bow, I didn't see you standing there.
Ahem. Well, I hear another turkey leg calling my name at the buffet table, so if you'll excuse me.
The turkey leg, it sounds good to me also. I'll accompany you, Dr. Smith.
It's weird that she's taller than pretty much every single person in these cutscenes, but they made a big deal about how short she was in the opening to the game.
Countess, they tell me you were married to the last museum president, no?
Yes, darling, that's correct. Sterling Waldorf Carlton was such a charming man, and so wealthy. My heart is just an empty void without him.
Yes, Sterling was such a nice man. It's too bad that he's worm food now.
Ew! I prefer to think that Sterling is still with me in spirit.
Oh, I'm sure his body is crawling with maggots by now. But if his spirit is with you, let me know because I'd love to see it.
It is hard to lose a loved one, no? I understand you were only married this short time, Countess.
Yes, I had only 2 short but charming months of married life with Sterling before he died.
And how long had you known this man before you were married?
Oh, we met just 1 charming month before we decided to get married. It was love at first sight.
Where did you meet him?
Oh, I had only been in this country a few weeks when I met Sterling on an offshore casino ship. It's quite legal to drink and gamble there, you know, and all the right people attend. Sterling was so charming, he just swept me off my feet.
This Sterling, he must have had the large broom.
It's just a manner of speech, my dear.
Sterling was a wealthy man. You must have inherited a nice fortune, Countess.
The money doesn't matter, darling. Actually, there's an annoying problem with the estate right now. It seems Sterling was changing his will when he died to give me more money, perhaps. Anyway, I'm sure my attorney will take care of the problem.
Too bad you can't dig him up to finish his new will.
Yes, quite.
The archaeology, it is such a masculine profession. Breaking into the ancient tombs with your sledgehammer, thrusting your way into the treasure chambers, touching the gold artifacts. It is also stimulating, no?
Yes, well, when you put it that way, I guess it is rather stimulating being the most important archaeologist of all time.
And it is such a burden to bear this greatness, no? With such pressure to perform, you must be perfect all the time.
Yes, you have a unique understanding of my problems, Yvette.
Your problems, they are obvious, no?
Very kind of you to say that, but there are many who misinterpret my actions. They don't understand the pressure of having famous relatives in the same line of work, and having to compare oneself to them all the time.
But the Tutankhamun find, it is nothing when compared to your discovery, no?
Correct. I didn't realize you knew so much about archaeology.
I know many things, Dr. Carter.
So I've heard. Maybe we should discuss archaeology sometime.
I'd love to hear about the work you do, Dr. Carter. Perhaps later tonight?
Will you be working late tonight?
Oh, yes. I think everyone will be here tonight, no? There is much to be done to prepare for the opening of your exhibit tomorrow.
I was planning a break for tea around 3 a.m. if you'd like to join me.
It sounds wonderful. Perhaps you would come by my office then?
I'd be delighted.
It is so gracious of you to take the time to speak with me.
Nonsense. Think nothing of it.
How will I ever repay you for this courtesy? I know how busy you are, Dr. Carter.
I'm sure we'll think of something. And call me Pippin.
Pippin. For 3. Hey, Matthew. Okay, so I wrote down 3 MT time. I don't know if that's going to be important, but sure.
I told you to stop bothering me, you camel driver.
Dr. Carter, I will stop bothering you when the dagger is safely back in Cairo.
I don't know if you've noticed, but the bloody dagger has been stolen from the bloody museum, you great twit.
I see no reason to exchange epithets with you, Dr. Carter. I am aware of the burglary. I am also aware that no evidence was left behind, and the dagger case was not harmed. In fact, I think you removed the dagger from the exhibit.
Me? Me? And what bloody reason would I have to steal my own bloody dagger from my own bloody exhibit?
The dagger is not yours, Doctor. It belongs to the Egyptian people. As to why you stole it, I do not pretend to understand your twisted American thinking. Perhaps you wanted to keep the dagger for yourself, in your own private collection.
Perhaps I should ask why you're shifting the blame onto me, you insignificant peasant. It would be very clever of you to steal the dagger, then stay about to start rumors about someone else stealing it.
Only an archaeological thief would make such an accusation, Doctor. Now I'm sure that you stole it for yourself.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Did not?
Did.
Did not.
Did.
Gentlemen, please.
Who asked you?
Mind your own business, you nosy reporter.
But
I have more important things to do.
Our discussion is far from over, Dr. Carter.
That's what you think, you malodorous buffoon.
I can't quite figure out if that guy is just based off of Salvador Dali or just literally is Salvador Dali. Alright, no dialogue there. Been a while since we've saved. Hopefully this isn't cursed.
You are interested in the great art, no? Then you should come with me this evening. I'll give you the personal tour of the old master's gallery.
Well,
I guarantee that you will not be wasting your time. You will enjoy it very much.
Well,
You are studying the art at the université, no?
Well, yes, but...
Then it is settled. I will give you the private tour in a little while, no?
But
There is no need to thank me yet. I will be enjoying it as much as you will.
It's our boy, Steve. Steve Adore. So he managed to make it to the party. Ooh, that was probably the last required thing. Okay. Are we finally to gameplay now? Okay, so all of the major players are gone now. Okay. So first things first, let's check outside. If there's anything amiss out here. Nope. Alright. So Steve is probably boning Ms. LaCroix over by the Mastodons. Well, this might as well have been a visual novel for the last, like, probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So, it doesn't count to me. Alright, nothing new here. So that leaves the Mastodon room. And if Wolf tells me to leave, then I don't know what the hell else to do.
Back to the rotunda, Fräulein. The rest of the museum is off limits. Und you are spooking their mastodons.
It's a happy party. It's a happy. It's a happy. It's a happy. It's a happy. It's a happy.
Maybe I have to interact with the turkey, I guess, in the center of the room? Because I didn't get a clear, angle at that before.
The food and champagne look good, but you're trying to stay on a diet, so you make the wise decision to leave them alone.
Okay, there must be some pixel I have to walk onto to trigger an event, I guess. Maybe you have to go to the right side of the gift shop and hide behind the counter. Oh wait, is this
It's a fanatically happy partygoer. It's a fanatic.
No, those are different people. Okay, so whatever it is, it's got to be in here, or... Alright, is there an event that plays here? So nothing new there, or there, or there, or there. We've filled out the notebooks as much as I can. Maybe I need to listen at this door?
You hear nothing of interest. It's a semi-happy partygoer. It's a semi-happy. It's a semi-happy. It's a semi.
Huh. So maybe there's an event out on the street then.
Don't stray too far.
Now I'm actually stumped. What the hell?
Don't stray too.
What? Maybe I have to get behind this thing and hide behind the plant? There's probably some magic pixel that I just haven't walked over yet. And there's no additional doors that I've opened here. So I can't walk left off the screen there. Okay, so what about behind the table on the left side? What in the hell? So the last ones we saw were Steve and Yvette.
Back to the rotunda, Fräulein.
Like, maybe you just have to keep going in here until he's not there? And this is RNG?
Back to the...
Or you have to use the water glass?
You hear nothing of interest.
So none of these NPCs that are left are the major ones. These are all just generic partygoers.
You hear nothing of interest. Laura, you'd never steal.
Like, can I fit between these two right here? You're supposed to hide behind these? No, does not let you go back there. Like, what if I examine the daggers again?
Upon close,
The made in Pittsburgh.
the dagger shows Pittsburgh's high degree of craftsmanship. Silence alone is great. All else is weakness. Alfred de Vigny.
Like, maybe I should
It is
have
better to know some of the questions.
I should have talked to Steve before triggering the eavesdropping. I kind of want to load to see if that was the thing.
Don't touch it.
And I'm like, I'm soft locked or something.
Don't.
Because I actually don't know if I'm soft locked or not. Either that or it's like you just keep making a circuit here until something happens.
It's a happy party.
Good evening. I'm Laura Bow.
The snobbish high society partygoers just ignore you entirely. You're not a part of their accepted social circle and are therefore beneath their notice.
Okay, I'm gonna load my save before this. Because this should be Steve. Okay, so let's talk to Steve.
Are you having a nice evening, Mr. Dorian?
Well, it's much, much better with you nearby.
Well, hello, Steve.
Why, that's me, Miss Bow. Steve Dorian, Stevedorian student. Remember?
How did he get into this party?
She's a lovely girl, Miss Bow, but she makes me just a little nervous.
Oh, really? You think she's lovely, do you?
Well, sure. A man would have to be blind not to see that, right?
I think she wears a wig. She looks cheap.
Oh, shit.
Her hair looks real to me.
How come she makes you nervous? You're big enough to take care of yourself.
Well, she's kind of pushy, if you know what I mean.
No, I'm afraid I don't. And I don't think she's your type.
Could we talk about something else?
Dang.
I suppose so, since this topic seems to make you nervous.
Huh. So now Laura's finally thirsty.
The Linedecker is one of my favorite places in the whole world. I've never seen so many wonderful things in one place before.
Has 1926 been a good year for you, Mr. Dorian?
Yes, Miss Bow, it has. I'm enjoying my sophomore year of college very much.
You're attending college? What's your major?
Art. I hope to be a famous painter someday.
Oh, whoops.
You ask your...
Alright, we know a little bit more about Stevedore.
What do you make of the theft of the dagger, Mr. Dorian?
I think it's awful, Miss Bow. Just awful.
Who do you suppose could have done it?
I have no idea who could have perpetrated such a terrible thing. I just hope they get what's coming to them, that's all.
So do I, Mr. Dorian. Do you know much about Egyptology, Mr. Dorian?
I'm afraid I don't. I wanted to take a class in it this semester, but I couldn't quite manage it.
Alright.
Oh, he's that hot-tempered Egyptian fellow who was shouting at Dr. Carter that day on the docks. He seems nice enough now. Maybe Dr. Carter just said something to set him off that day. Oh, he's an okay Joe, I guess. He sure takes his job seriously.
Sure. Alright. So now... if I go over...
You are interested in the great app.
Okay, so if I right-click on that... Okay, so we got nobody there. Nobody here. So we're back to this state again. Of there being nobody around.
Don't be greedy. You'd like to reach out and touch the Ramses bust, but decide it would be improper to touch the The tablecloth is dusted with breadcrumbs and stained with grease, champagne, grape juice, and water.
I know, right? Like, fuck, man. Like, I probably could have gotten to this point way earlier if, like, I had randomly walked behind that table earlier. And all the other stuff that I got was just extra information. But now we're... oh my god. And now it's like, now what? What random pixel do I have to walk on to get the next progress here? Like, it could be that. It could be waiting in a particular spot for an amount of time. I feel like I need to be able to get past Wolf into the Mastodon room, but I don't know how the hell you're supposed to do that. Like, besides, like, cause a disturbance somewhere else, but I don't know how you do that. None of the other guests will even talk to me. Like maybe there's something I could do with a car outside?
Back to the rotunda, Fräulein.
Upon close inspection, you see nothing new here.
Can't like break a glass in here?
You hear nothing. You hear nothing.
Can I shout into the...
There was silence supreme. Not a shriek, not a scream, scarcely even a howl or groan, as the man they called Ho told his story of woe in an antediluvian tone. Lewis Carroll.
Is all that necessary? Is there like a door behind here that I just can't see because Sierra? And there's no like phone I could use to call back to the office that I can see. And there is precedent in other Sierra games, especially of this time, of you just have to walk around until something happens. Okay, make 10 laps of this room and then something happens, some plot happens. Okay, can't go left. No.
Considering that this car is parked...
So that's the same before, that's the same.
Silence alone is great. A parked car. Note the sleek lines of this late model automobile. A parked car.
Okay, so that's all stuff we've heard before. Can't interact with the fountains, can't go in the street.
Don't stray too...
Can't stray too far in either direction. I still only have the notebook, the magnifying glass, and the water glass.
Don't stray too...
Like, is this something? No. Like, I'm getting the feeling I just need to King's Quest this. And just do this. Until something happens. Okay, now let's walk around the table, see if something pops up. And I don't see anything on the ground.
Don't touch the fanatically happy partygoer. Don't touch it. You don't know where it's been.
Nothing here. And there's no exits to this room.
What a beautiful Art Deco rug.
So it's really just the cash register and the daggers in this room.
They appear to be broken parts of some kind, probably authentic artifacts.
Wonder if I can pick those up, the broken.
Don't touch it. Don't touch.
Nope.
Don't touch it. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't.
Eh?
Don't touch. Don't touch.
No.
Don't.
No touch.
Don't.
Only look.
Don't touch. Don't. This is the counter where the counter counts the money. Don't touch. Don't touch.
Eh?
Don't touch. Don't.
So let's me interact further with this.
Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. You straighten out your dress. Appearances count. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch.
Game, get my hopes up here. Don't touch it. Don't drop it. Is this the Dr. Fez guy?
It's a fanatically happy.
No, of course not. Nothing else changed out here.
Back to the rotunda, Fräulein.
And it just doesn't let me interact with this guy at all.
The archway that leads to the rest of the museum. Don't touch it.
Man, I can't shake the feeling that I'm like soft locked. Cause shit, what else would it be? If nothing else is gonna work here. I might actually have to look this up. Cause I don't know, this could be bugged, this could be a soft lock. You kind of never know with Sierra stuff. Oh man. So far, this game has had its moments, but This is nowhere near one of the greatest games of all time that this has been talked up to be by a lot of people.
You can almost feel. These plants feel ferny. You'd like to reach. Don't be greedy.
Maybe I gotta put the water back.
You hear nothing of interest. You hear nothing. The food and champagne look good. The food and you can almost feel the low level of excitement.
Maybe I just have to stand here? Stand in one place for a little bit, maybe? Alright. While I do that, I think I'm just going to straight up pull up a walkthrough here because This is some bullshit. Steve and Yvette. You're now free to explore the left side of the museum? Careers, but before you finish, go to the center where there's nobody there. There you'll meet Steve for a romantic interlude. Question Steve. Yeah, well, I looked up I pulled up the walkthrough for this, and it says you're free to explore the left side of the museum now. But Wolf won't let me. And according to the map, the only way to get there is... There's something before the Steve thing? Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed it before that. Okay. And it's actually the thing that I mentioned before, I think. It's the gift shop, right? Okay. Alright, I'm closing the walkthrough site now. So you're supposed to examine every fucking dagger? Yeah, and I even guessed it before. Like, what? So you
not this.
You find the one that isn't labeled "Made in Pittsburgh." Okay, so it's this one.
The dagger shows a high degree of craftsmanship. You can't touch the daggers on display in the locked case.
Okay, so now that we saw that, oh my god.
Fräulein, this gift shop is closed. You should not be here.
Oh, I'm sorry. The door was unlocked.
Unlocked? My assistant will be disciplined harshly for this mistake. Please rejoin the party now. I will be forced to injure you.
Sierra Games, huh? Okay, let's see if there's any more things in the center of the screen here, or I can just go explore. Oh. There's our boy Steve.
Miss Bo?
Oh! Mr. Dorian?
That's right. We met at the docks.
Oh dear. Your shoes. They aren't exactly formal.
Oh, well, I can explain that, but not right now.
I see. Well, what brings you here?
You.
Oh, me?
You told me you'd be here tonight, and, well, I thought we should talk.
Oh? About what?
Could we step outside for a minute? The moonlight is very nice tonight.
Well, all right. I think I'd enjoy that.
Sure thing, Steve. Everyone's getting some tonight in this game.
I just wanted to explain to you who I really am.
You're not Steve Dorian?
Well, yes, I am Steve Dorian, but I felt like I didn't give you the most accurate impression of myself when I met you earlier today. But, gee willikers, I'm just not used to meeting attractive young ladies on the docks.
I wasn't down there looking for a man. I'm a professional journalist working on a story.
Oh, Well, yes, of course you are. I didn't mean to imply anything. In fact, I was very impressed with your professionalism and with your smile. I just didn't want you to think I'm a common stevedore.
Well, I'll admit I was wondering what a stevedore was doing at this ritzy museum fundraiser.
My stevedore job pays the bills, but I'm aiming for a career as an artist. However, I'm really here because I'd hate myself for the rest of my life if I didn't try to see you again. Maybe I'm a fool, maybe you think we're too different, but I had to try.
Well, I'm very flattered. Are you always this nervous?
I'm not very good with women. I've spent all my time working ever since I was 10 years old, when my father died. I've never had a chance to date very much. Lately, I've spent my free time going to school.
I'm starting to think we're more alike than I first thought. My mother died when I was very young, so I was raised by my father. What kind of an artist are you?
I'm a painter, and I do a little sculpting.
How interesting. But I think that an artist would know enough not to wear work boots with his tuxedo at a formal party.
Oh, I said I'd explain that, didn't I? I was hoping nobody would notice. I had to blow 2 weeks' pay to rent this tux, but I didn't have enough left over to rent the fancy shoes. It's just that I had to see you again.
You spent all your money just to see me? My goodness, I don't know what to say.
Say you'll have dinner with me some evening. I may seem a little odd, but I promise that I'm harmless. I'd be honored to spend an evening with you and show you the sights around town.
Well, I don't usually, but you've gone to a lot of trouble to find me. I think I can trust you.
Really? You'll do it? Oh, thank you. You won't regret it. I'll make it a memorable evening. I'll paint for you. I'll dance for you. I'll sing for you. Anything you want.
Well, there's no need to get carried away. Let's see how dinner goes first.
Of course. You're absolutely right. I don't seem too anxious, do I?
Maybe just a bit, but that's okay.
Okay. I'll take a deep breath and calm down. I'll be fine. I'll do whatever you want.
I think this is the beginning of something important, Steve. I like you already.
Whoa.
Let's go back to the party, Steve. I've got work to do.
Okay. Oh, all right. Now he's walking off screen to go nail Yvette. All right. Okay. So now I can probably get past the Mastodon exhibit now. And now the real Dark Souls begins. Okay. Finally.
This is a mastodon, one of the early mammals.
Oh, geez. Okay.
The museum staff have labeled this a Struthiomimus, literally ostrich mimic. This is an Eriops skull. Such a large capacity mandible and teensy capacity cranium.
Okay. All these Pokemon on display.
This is an Archaeopteryx. Correction. This used to be an Archaeopteryx. Ah, a very nice specimen of Eohippus, somewhat flatter than it appeared in real life.
Oh no. Okay, so this door, I don't know if it's gonna scroll or not, should go to the old masters.
Achtung! Terrorists are not allowed in this room at this time. You are disturbing the paintings. Raus! You leave now! Mach schnell!
Okay. Can't go there. So the room to the right of this then, still can't save, is the pterodactyl. Okay, pterodactyl room.
Suspended overhead by thin wires, the pterodactyl frozen in mid-swoop presents a most horrific tableau. A fairly accurate model of Struthiomimus or ostrich mimic.
Alright. Or it's just a Yoshi.
The male and female triceratops look every inch the proud parents.
Okay. Let's see. So this is either going to be Tyrannosaur or medieval armor. Probably Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh man, look at that thing.
It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. His name is Rex. Isn't that clever? A small sign identifies this dinosaur as an iguanodon, which means iguana tooth. However, from the Tyrannosaurus Rex's point of view, this dinosaur could be identified as dinner. A fine painting of a mighty Brontosaurus, the thunder lizard. This huge creature with its tiny brain is currently the subject of a controversy. Dr. Earl Douglas from the Carnegie Museum of Natural History believes that current Brontosaurus displays have the wrong heads mounted on their skeletons. However, Dr. Othniel Marsh, who originally discovered the Brontosaurus, believes that the heads on current displays are correct. Only time and more fossil evidence will conclusively prove which of these esteemed gentlemen is correct.
I can probably take this bone.
A sign on this dinosaur bone display says, "Please touch." Either these bones feel lonely, or the museum wants you to learn more about the bones by coming into close personal contact with them.
Alright, let's touch it by putting it in our purse.
You pick it up and place it in your purse.
Okay. This is probably an audio exhibit.
Welcome to the Leyendecker Museum Dinosaur Display. My name is Rex, and I'd like to tell you about myself. I'm a type of dinosaur known as Tyrannosaurus Rex, which means King of the Tyrant Lizards. Although I was not the largest type of dinosaur, I was the largest predator ever to walk the earth. Some of my friends were 40 feet long and weighed 8 tons, with teeth that were 6 inches long. Your modern elephants don't weigh more than 6 tons. I lived between 250 and 65 million years ago.
Where'd the echo go?
During a period known as the Age of Dinosaurs, also called the Mesozoic era. The first complete skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex was found just 24 years ago in Montana in 1902. Although there were many meat-eating dinosaurs, I was considered the best killing machine who ever lived. Speaking of which, I'm feeling a bit hungry. Would you like to volunteer to be my next meal?
So I'm pretty sure this is Steve. The same voice actor is Steve, but it's just not pitched down. It's me, the dinosaur. Alright, so over to the left should be medieval armor. I think. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay, so we've got to start overwriting. Overwriting saves.
An empty chest from the 15th century. Although the carvings on the exterior are crude, cut into the wood by someone with little talent or ability for wood carving, the chest now resides in a museum, simply because it's old. Kind of makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Sure.
The chest feels like wood, and you get a small splinter in your finger when you rub your hand over the carvings.
Can we pet the dog?
Seems rather strange to be petting a dog wearing armor, doesn't it?
I think she technically still pet the dog, though. Okay, so this should be the Egyptian exhibit through this door.
The door is locked. When you touch the doorknob, you get a heavy coating of dust all over the palm of your hand.
Huh. Okay, so what's this then? Huh.
The mummified corpse of Amenophis III, also known as Amenhotep III or Memnon by the Greeks. He built large temples to Amon-Ra, both at Karnak and at Luxor. In the 5th year of his reign, Amenophis marched into Nubia to quell a mighty rebellion. He also ruled over the Mesopotamians, since his kingdom was quite large. We also know that Amenophis was a mighty hunter who slew 102 lions during the first 10 years of his reign in his spare time. Now he's dead.
Gee, thanks.
The placard says, "This is a granite stele depicting Horus and Thoth, found in the Temple of Amon-Ra."
Thoth.
This stele was modified during the reign of the pharaoh Akhenaten, then restored during the reign of Tutankhamun.
Our boy Thoth is back, ready to tell us about mantras.
A sepulchral stele found in a tomb of the 6th dynasty. It tells the story of Una, born during the reign of King Tita, who served under Tita's successor Pepi. Una died during the reign of King Murena, full of days and honor. A sturdy window that looks out on the city of New York. This pyramid is a model of the Great Pyramid of Cheops, Khufu, as it appears today. Originally, the entire surface of the pyramid was covered with smooth, polished limestone. This covering has worn away over time to reveal the stepped surface we see now. The base of the Great Pyramid covers 13 acres and was built with over 2 million stones to a height of 480 feet. Construction took 30 to 50 years. It looks remarkably like a glass case in the shape of a pyramid. A small card informs you that this case contained the famous Dagger of Amon-Ra, which is now missing.
Uh-oh.
Congratulations, you've cracked the case of the Dagger of Amon-Ra. Don't touch the shards of glass. They're sharp. You might cut yourself. Or you could put an eye out. Or any of a number of other things could happen that your mother warned you about when you were little and everything in your life was dangerous. You can't take that. It's museum property. You've already done enough damage for one day. Leave it alone.
Uh-oh. Can I... Okay.
This is a magnified part of the ancient Egypt exhibit. On the top of the pedestal you see 2 imprints. One imprint is in the shape of the Dagger of Amon-Ra. while the other imprint is where the edge of the glass case used to rest before you broke it. This is a magnified part of the That's not the sort of thing you want to examine too closely.
It feels like there's probably something else.
Don't.
Especially like this pink
You
one.
can't take that. Don't. On the top of the pedestal, you see two imprints.
Okay, so where you did that?
A close look at the pyramid shows you the grainy texture of limestone, which you find highly educational. This is a granite stele depicting Horus and Thoth, found in the Temple of Amon-Ra. This stele was modified during the reign of the pharaoh Akhenaten and restored during the reign of Tutankhamun.
We found our boy Thoth. He's over here.
Ironically, there's a gold Ankh medallion, the ancient Egyptian symbol of life, resting in the pool of blood.
Uh-oh. Does that mean the Salvador Dali is inside this coffin, probably?
You pick it up and place it in your purse. Don't touch it.
Not Salvador Dali.
Pippin's nose appears to be undamaged. He does not appear to have suffered any blows to his face or nose. Pippin has a glazed expression in his right eye, staring off into eternity. At least he faced his death with his eyes open. Pippin has a flower in his lapel, but it looks quite innocent. Dr. Carter seems to have suffered a severe trauma to his chest area. A red fluid appears to be leaking out of Dr. Carter's chest wound.
Oh man, Lorbo.
Although there are a couple of breadcrumbs caught in his mustache, they don't seem to be significant as evidence, particularly since you saw him eating bread at the party. There are no signs of scratches or bruises on his flesh. This could mean that the murderer, assuming this wasn't a suicide, knew Dr. Carter well enough to get close and stab him without arousing any suspicion. Or it could just mean that Dr. Carter was completely taken by surprise when someone assaulted him from the shadows. The flower is fake. It has no detectable smell. A tube runs from the back of the flower, behind the lapel, down to a squeeze bulb inside the vest. When you squeeze the bulb, a weak stream of water squirts you in the eye.
He had one of those novelty flowers that squirts you, like he's the Joker. Oh, also, this is the British guy. This isn't Salvador Dali. Okay. Different guy.
The red fluid appears to be blood. This might explain Dr. Carter's pale appearance.
Man, this dialogue, something else.
A close look at the dagger reveals the words, "Made in Pittsburgh," stamped on the part of the blade that is not buried in Pippin Carter's chest.
Okay, so it's a
To
fake...
your naked eye, the rough surface of the dagger handle doesn't appear to hold any fingerprints, but that's something for the coroner to examine in detail.
Okay. Anything else?
The jacket is free of blood, but there is a bluish stain on one lapel. A close look and sniff at the stain makes you think that it's grape juice. The bulge on one side is ruining the carefully tailored lines of the tuxedo.
Oh, whoa. Laura noticed the bulge. Where is it? Here?
When you reach into Pippin's tuxedo jacket, You find a notepad in his inner pocket.
Okay.
You pick it up and place it in your purse. There is nothing else in Pippin's tuxedo jacket except lint, which you don't need.
Okay.
That would be highly improper, Laura.
Oh, besides looting a corpse, sure.
You don't want to touch this dagger. It's evidence, and you don't know where it's been.
But we took his notepad, though. That's definitely not evidence.
His mouth and tongue feel dry. Don't touch it.
Okay, so we have an Ankh.
A gold Egyptian Ankh medallion with a bit of blood on it.
So the person with the Ankh was, whatever that guy's name was, that came here to convince the museum to give back all the stuff back to Egypt.
The thigh bone from a young Tyrannosaurus Rex who no longer has any need for it. It feels like good quality paper.
I can't read the notebook.
A notepad made of good quality paper. There's an imprint on the paper from the previous message written on the pad, but it's too faint to read.
Okay, so I need a pencil. And can I...
While this is an interesting approach, it serves no practical purpose other than your temporary amusement.
Do I have to do it the other way then?
While this is an...
No. Okay. I need to be able to read what was on that page somehow. Okay, I don't think there's anything else here then. Okay. Alright, now this is playing a lot more like the original game.
You scream like a banshee, lass. Did you kill the man then?
No, I just walked in here and found him.
I suppose that would explain your screaming then. Did you see the murderer?
No.
All right, I'll talk to you later after you've had a chance to calm down. Just don't try to leave the building.
Is this a bad end? Is this gonna give me a game over? Oh. Okay. Act 2 finally over. Good lord. What? What? Okay, maybe the game...
Excellent work. Your father would be proud of you. Having already interrogated the guests, Detective O'Reilly is now discussing the murder with the staff members as they leave the party. It would be best if you don't interfere.
Oh, I thought it was gonna make me listen to each of those. This guy's new.
Hi, Miss Bowe. I'm Ernie Leach. Dr. Carrington told me you could stay a while and talk to the staff. I've got to lock the doors, so just come and find me when you're ready to leave. Dr. C also has a key, but you don't want to bother him about that.
Thank you, Mr. Leach.
Just be careful where you go. Wolf will get upset if he finds you downstairs. See you later.
Did you manage to learn anything from your interviews, Detective O'Reilly?
Don't bother your little head about it, lass.
It's my job, sir.
This is an official murder investigation, Miss Bowe. Do not be interfering.
Oh, I don't mean to interfere. I just want to know what's going on. Any leads so far?
Dr. Carter died as the result of someone sticking a gift shop dagger in his chest. What more do you need to know?
Well, for one thing, who did it?
Someone who didn't like him, that's my guess.
Brilliant deduction.
If you think that you can do better.
I can try.
Oh, wunderbar. Now we've got the amateurs involved.
I may not be a detective, but I'm terribly clever. I've solved murders before.
Just stay out of me way, lass,
Well-
and don't destroy the evidence.
Not really.
Certainly not.
Yeah. Humph.
Okay. Progress finally made in this game. Oh, man. Yeah, the Dead Rising meme. Okay. I'm gonna have to move some saves around, I think, for next time to clear up some space. I could just rename my save folder. Okay. Act 3. Start. Okay. Excellent. Oh man. All right, I cut the timer there. So that'll do it for part 2 of this. Man, act 2 of this game. So if anybody missed like the first oh god, was it? It was like almost 3 hours. I spent almost 3 hours talking to all of the NPCs in this room at the party, and it turns out all you needed to do was walk behind them at the center table the whole time. That was the thing. And I thought it was you had to just talk to all of them about one particular thing, but no. It turns out all you had to do is this. You just had to walk behind the table, and then it would start this little cutscene of eavesdropping on the people in front of the table. Good lord. Good lord. What? Oh man. I hope the rest of the game is going to be a little more straightforward than that. I know that's a lot to ask for a Sierra adventure game. And at least there wasn't like a bunch of bullshit deaths in that part. But oh man. I was at the end of my rope for most of that segment, but we're past it. And then of course the part right after that of I literally guessed what the puzzle solution was like hours and hours and hours ago. And then didn't follow through on it because I didn't think it would be relevant. And it turns out that was the other thing that was gatekeeping me out of progress. So I technically did a bunch of stuff like out of order in Act 2. So, oh god, yeah, she looks like Roger in the dress. The two games came out around the same time, and that's why there's a lot of overlap with the voice acting too. So, oh man. Well, hopefully it'll be smoother sailing in part 3 of this one. I'm still going to do my best to play this without having to ask for hints or walk through anything. Today was the exception of like, I'm actually stumped before. I'm going to do my best to finish out this playthrough without having to do any of that though. We will see if I'm able to do it though.